Green team, set, hey!
Good morning, football fans. A long time no here. Well, you know what's going down today. This show doesn't even need an introduction, but too bad, it's gonna get one anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now listening to our very special 2023 NFL Mock Draft edition of 3 and Outs, brought to you by IE Sports Radio, your directory for all that is sports. Ladies and gentlemen, our annual mock draft show is here. Oh my gosh, we wait for this every year because, you know, it's fun to see how wrong or how right we can be when it comes to this first round. I am, of course, joined by my bro, man. This dude, him and I have been doing draft shows for freaking ever here on this show over the years. And well, I just gotta say, I'm glad to have him here with me again to talk about this guy. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Mr. Mike Patt. What's going on, Mike? How you doing today, brother?
I am doing as well as I can be doing, Larry B. How are you?
Well, looks like we're in the same boat, man. I'm right there with you. It is definitely a challenging morning, to say the least. But I am glad you are here with me, brother. Music was a little loud there, sorry about that. But yeah, definitely glad to have you here today, man. Of course, IE Sports Radio Hall of Famer. Soon to be, hopefully. I hope. I'm just saying. I'm pulling for you, brother.
But I'm just happy to be a part of the team.
Hey, well, I'm with you, brother. With that said, man, he, of course, is the chief editor of our blog here at IE Sports Radio. The dude is amazing, absolutely awesome with his show, Let's Whine About Sports, talking all things, Let's Whine About DMV Sports, talking all things DMV Sports while sipping a delicious wine or beer. He has really good shows. Glad to have him here today. And of course, it's Beer Boy Larry B. You know, that guy that just does shows here every now and then. I do my best. We are here, ready to rock and roll. You are now tuned in live to our very special 2023 NFL Draft edition of 3 and Out, right here on IE Sports Radio, your directory for all that is sports. Welcome, football fans. And as we enter this show, we already got our first chat in the room. Mr. Adam Karnick will be playing his draft clip later on. This is my favorite show of the year. Well, thank you, sir. It's always a fun one for us. A total pleasure to do. And, well, let's just say this one is just one that hits so hard with us because we've been doing this one, I think, seriously since since Mike Patt has been a part of the iSports Radio family, which I haven't lost count of that. I seriously, we've been doing it ever since that year. So it's really fun to be doing this and great to be back here doing this again. And just, once again, a show that we certainly value and enjoy every year to do. So with that said, Mr. Mike Patt, once again, glad to have you, brother. Thank you so much for being here today with us.
Absolutely, Larry B. Always a pleasure. And just for the record, for those of you who are wondering, no, there is no beverage of choice this morning for this show.
It's a little too early for that.
I thought about doing a mimosa, but given that I'm still coming off of this cold, probably not the best idea.
No mimosas today. It would have been cool. I'm just kidding. Oh, you're too much. Like, well, glad to have you, brother. The drink selection will be saved, actually, until this evening, which is pretty cool.
Yes, indeed, yes.
Mr. Mike Patt, of course, moving the show today to Saturday night. Like I said, we're all moving pieces, guys, and that's just how it goes. We definitely appreciate everybody here at the station, and hey, we do our thing, how we can do it, when we can do it, and once again, we just appreciate all of you guys for being here. So, with that said, let's go ahead and jump on into the action. Mike, first things first, before we even get there, my gosh, what a... Adam says I was going to say no mimosas for the show. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Adam. Hopefully you're not having a mimosa right now either, Adam. It's too early. Just kidding. But, Mike, this last past college season was amazing. Absolutely loved it. There was a lot of, every single one of them is. What could I say? When you're a college fan, you just love them all. But there are so many great athletes out there right now, and it is so cool to know that, a lot of these guys are going to, it's what we know. So many of them are going to get there to the league. So many aren't going to make it, and so many are going to have that middle ground. And then there's going to be those few that really make it happen. So this show is really just dedicated, and it sucks because, I wish that wasn't really the case. It'd be nice for everybody to get in there and do their thing. But I'll tell you right now, who knows who those select few will be who actually make things happen. And the best part about this show today, or this particular show of 3 and Out today, is that this will have a follow-up. But it's not going to be next month. It's not going to be in 2 months. Actually, it's not going to be until after Super Bowl 58 ends. It's going to be next year, of course, in 2024. And I don't know. I'm pretty excited for this because we are going to do a special show called 3 and Out, NFL 2023 NFL Draft Woulda Coulda Shoulda, or something along the lines of that. I forgot what I actually named it, but we are going to have a show just like this where we get on here and talk about our draft picks, and had the team have picked who we thought they should have picked, how they might have done according to their first season. It's fun. It's something that, nothing that's it's more I guess a fun show than anything, because it's definitely, you can't be serious with that, but it's gonna be fun. Definitely excited for that, because we're gonna see, like, hey, see, I told you Ravens, you should have picked this guy. I told you Arizona Cardinals, you should have picked this guy, or whatever. Like, and so I don't know. We're gonna have some fun with that. But with that said, Mr. Mike Patt, I know you have been ready. I've been ready for this all week as well. Let's get to it. So let's get to it, man. So as I always do, I have my boy start things off, man, because it's always fun. Always fun following your lead during the show as well. And, we are submitting our mock drafts here. We're going to have other mock drafts coming up later on throughout the show. And, we'll see where everybody goes. So, Mike Patt, if you would do the honors, good sir, the 2023 NFL Draft 3 and Out style is officially open. Mike Patt, you are on the board.
So, we kick it off with the Carolina Panthers after their dramatic trade up to number 1 with the Chicago Bears. Look, everybody knew the moment Carolina made this trade, this was going to be a quarterback.
Yeah.
You don't give up everything you gave up to take, a defensive end or a defensive tackle. Not to say that it would be bad if they took Will Anderson or Jalen Carter, but you don't give up multiple firsts for anything other than a quarterback. So I had CJ Stroud here for the longest time because he was killing the pre-draft process. But recently, over the last couple of weeks, the rumor mill has started swirling and things have started to, iron themselves out. I am now in the group, which there are many here at IE Sports Radio who agree that this will be Bryce Young, quarterback from Alabama. Yes, the size is an issue. Nobody's a huge fan of the fact that he's 5'10", but he is a great playmaker. He's accurate. He maneuvers the pocket very well. This is a guy who's going to come in right away and start making plays for a Panthers team that has needed a quarterback since Cam Newton started to drop a little bit. So they solved their issue. They get their guy, Bryce Young, number 1.
Well, I guess it's not going to be a very long. I'd love it. You basically you do that one for me. Thank you for that, Mike. Thank you so much, because that right there is every bit of what I was feeling. I mean, come on, guys. Seriously, did you not think Carolina, as you said, Mike? There's no way. There's no way that the Carolina Panthers were going to make that trade and not take the best quarterback on the board. Now, yes, I know there's, as you said, C.J. Stroud. I understand. There's going to go back and forth, but I have loved this kid, man. Bryce Young has been amazing since he played for Mater Dei here in Southern California, and he goes to Alabama. He is as advertised, does great in saving the system, and well, now he's looking at becoming the first overall draft pick and probably going over to the Carolina Panthers. And well, John Felipe, let's just hope that he saves your team, because they've been a little embarrassing lately. So they've been on the Raider level recently. So hopefully he can help you guys out. And the quarterback, I hear, is a great thing to have. No pun intended for the NFL Draft Day movie. Remember? Please tell me you've seen that movie, Mike.
I'll agree with that.
You've seen the movie, right, Mike? You've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen Draft Day.
It's funny when the owner of the Browns, well, the fake one, when he says that too, he's like, "I heard a quarterback's a great thing to have."
That is a really good line.
Yeah,
I don't know. It would be nice if my Commanders could figure it out.
Yeah, my Raiders went and got this thing called a Jimmy G. I don't even know what that is. We're gonna figure it out, I guess. But anyway, Mike. So I think we're both in agreement. Bryce Young heading to the Carolina Panthers. You have the other draft as well. Who was everybody else taking in the first round? Well, first pick.
Right now there is universal agreement between everybody who submitted that Bryce Young is going to be this pick.
You gotta love it when it's universal agriement, right? I mean,
everybody's on the same page.
Adam Karnick says here, "I'm at work, so no day drinking for me." And Bryce Young is saying, "Thank God the Texans won the last game and fell to drafting second." Yeah, that's a place. That's a situation. So anyway, on to pick number 2, Mike Patt. Who you got?
Alrighty, so now we move to the Texans, and this pick is starting to get more and more interesting. There's a lot of what people are describing as CJ Stroud slander going on right now in the rumor mills and social media, all that jazz, things about this recent recognition test that he scored very poorly on, apparently, and a whole bunch of different things. So I'm less confident than I was probably about 3 days ago. But I still have CJ Stroud here. The Texans still need a quarterback. They've finally moved on from the Deshaun Watson drama. But the problem with that is that they haven't had a good quarterback since the Deshaun Watson drama. So they cannot wait until 12 and risk not getting their quarterback here. So I still have CJ Stroud, but the rumor mill is churning. The slander, the CJ Stroud slander is real. So we'll see as we get closer whether that holds up or things start to change drastically.
Isn't that something, how things have maybe changed? I don't know, but I can definitely see CJ Stroud going. However, I'm going to go with Myles Murphy, edge rusher out of Clemson. I'm just kidding, Mike. I'm just kidding. No, why do I feel like that's something the Texans would do? Mike Patt, I mean, once again, a quarterback's a great thing to have. We know. Highest paid people.
Great thing to have.
Yeah, exactly. You kind of need the dude who kind of commands the offense. I mean, you need that dude. You know, the guy that gets the ball to the players who do things with the ball in their hands once they get it? That guy. It's very important to have him. And we've seen historically teams that have a quarterback that's even mediocre in the NFL. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, the only way a mediocre quarterback can be pretty damn good in the NFL is if your offensive line is a freaking absolute wall of steel. I mean, that's the only way, because if not, yeah, you ain't going to do very well. So, yeah, I'm going with that, though, Mike. I'm going CJ Stroud. Don't mess this up, guys. I mean, seriously, this doesn't make any sense. I mean, I see the other parts, but my gosh, like, yeah, Houston needs...
I mean, hey, every year, there are teams that overthink and overanalyze this process. And we see the results time and time again. Doesn't always work out. Does not always work out.
Not at all. And honestly, this is one where you don't think about it. You just go. Just freaking pick who you feel is going to make your team better. I don't know. Hold on really quick, man. There's this offensive lineman. Shut up. Like, we will go and get him in free agency. Like, we will do something. Like, come on. Like,
and that was another, if you're going back to draft day really quick, that was another interesting thing. You know, when that other GM called him and was like, wait, why is everybody passing on this guy? What's going on? What don't we know? Like, the panic that can ensue when you think something's happening that you're out of the loop.
Exactly, Mike. And the crazy part, even like that young GM, exactly, you're talking about him, the young GM from the Jaguars in the movie.
Yes. It's
like he says it too. Like, you know, of course, what's going on. And then Kevin Costner, who I'm a big fan of because he's awesome, was like, when he told him too, he says, hey, look, somebody's going to come out of this looking like a donkey, right? Remember he said that on Monday or something like that? You know, he's like, don't let that be you, and then everything. And even the older guy, the a-hole from from the Seahawks, like, he was, you know, trying to play that hand and everything. It's incredible, man, because that's what happens. You overthink in the war room, and it's like, don't do that. Oh my gosh. Like, you make your pick, of course, call around if there's issues going on. That's a hard one. That's a tough one to see. But at the end of the day, just do your homework. I mean, it's like school, Mike. Seriously, if you do your homework, you're going to be just fine. You know?
You literally have an entire department on your team whose job is to tell you who the pick is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If you want to pay them for nothing, hey, I'm sure they won't mind. But, you know, so...
I'll do the same thing for half the price.
Yeah, seriously, Mike. Discount with me right here.
Yeah.
Shoot. That's so true, man. Adam Cornick here in the chat room says, or if you tell, oh my gosh, or if you're Kirk Cousins and you get to know, and you get to throw jump balls to Justin Jefferson every game. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it just happens, guys. You need to be a special type of quarterback to you know, look better than you are, of course. You also need a lot of circumstances going your way. So, all right, Mike, on to that third overall pick. What you got?
All righty. Now we get to Arizona. And what's interesting to me about this pick is a lot of people for a time have been, you know, talking about teams trading up here to take a quarterback, right? But I don't think anybody's talking enough about the potential for a team. Now, I'm not doing any trades, but I'm just posing this here. The potential for a team to trade up and take Will Anderson. Like, this dude is a beast off the edge. And I feel like everybody's like, oh, trade up for a quarterback. Shoot, if you're Detroit at 6 and you got that extra draft ammunition, shoot, I'm trading up for freaking Will Anderson. Give me the best edge rusher in the draft. But that is who I have here. I've got Will Anderson. He is, due to the Jalen Carter issues that have been happening lately with, you know, the legal thing that happened with him in Georgia and the pro day didn't go so well. Will Anderson is head and shoulders the best defensive player in this draft. Arizona's got a lot of needs. So I do think that trading back is possible for them. But if they're going to stay put, you might as well take the best player available.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And in Arizona, they have issues. I mean, I don't know. They got Murray, but they still can't get it right. The offensive line is actually decent, still can't get it right. I mean, they got a lot of issues over there. They had Watt for just a little bit, you know, on his in his waning years. It just, I don't know. Calais Campbell for a little bit. I mean, they've had some pieces over there. It's unfortunate that nobody seems to know how to use them. So, I mean, hopefully Will Anderson doesn't go there and, they screw his career up, because I would hate that. But I'm also going with Will Anderson because this guy is, once again, best available. He's a freaking monster, man. This dude is everything you want. That's 2 Alabama players in we have 3 picks off the board already, and 2 of them are from Alabama. I'm just saying, they do special things there. But it's a player that look, if you have everything else, you got your quarterback that should hope can do better soon. You got what you need at other places. Now, how about you get a guy that can go chase around everybody else's quarterback? So, I mean, it's a no-brainer for me here. This needs to happen. Totally with you. 100%. Boom. Let's go. Will Anderson, 3rd overall pick. How's everybody else draft looking right now, Mike?
So far, everybody is in agreement on the first 3 picks.
You gotta love this. I love it. Well, once again, man.
Don't worry. By the way, don't worry, listeners. There will be some contention coming up here in a couple of picks. It's coming.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. We're getting it so far, y'all. These first 3 picks. I just feel like it's hard to screw these up, but I don't know. Houston. Anyway, Mike, pick number 4. Who you got?
All right, now we get to Indianapolis, a team who is probably enjoying the C.J. Stroud slander a little. The prospect of your division rival potentially not taking one of the best quarterback prospects in the draft, so that you could potentially turn around and take one of the best draft prospects in the draft. But in my scenario, Houston sticks with their guns and takes C.J. Stroud. So Indy goes to the next best quarterback prospect, a guy with the most incredible physical tools I have ever seen from a quarterback prospect, and that is Anthony Richardson out of Florida. Yeah. This dude, this dude honestly looks like a create a player on Madden. He's 6'4", 240, cannon arm, freak athlete, everything physical you could imagine you want in a quarterback, he's got. Now, there are some tendencies on the field, some inconsistencies that need to be cleaned up, but he doesn't have the glaring in-game issues that other quarterbacks with incredible physical talent have had in the past. So I think I'm comfortable with him coming in. He'll be a day one impact in terms of moving around and creating plays with his legs, kind of a la Justin Fields for Chicago. He'll start by impacting the game with his legs, and then over time, the arm will come.
You know what? That's a great pick. I like it a lot. The reason why, look, it's crazy. I like that a lot, because what I do feel right now is that, yes, the quarterback is needed on a lot of teams this year. Anthony Richardson, I feel, is an absolute beast of a player. But once again, the guy's got wheels. I know everyone's talking about his accuracy right now. I don't know, man. This is kind of crazy. I mean, this is going to be our first one, Mike. I just kind of feel like the experience level is going to measure in with the Colts, because the Colts hang banners in their rafters, apparently, that, applaud being the runner-up in the AFC. I'm sorry, Colts fans. But, dude, I don't know. That's kind of hard. I really want to say, I got Richardson going extremely high. Spoiler alert. But, yeah, this one was a tough one for me. But I honestly feel there's another dude who's really, 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 really good, too, who's just a little bit older, and I feel they probably want that experience. I'm going to go Will Levis, man. Out of Kentucky, I just feel like he's don't get me wrong, I think Richardson's actually better than he is, but just trying to think of if I were the Colts or think of the Colts, I don't know. For some reason, I just kind of feel like they're going to be like, well, we want the old, more experienced guy. Anderson's only what? He's like a junior, right? Is he a junior or is he a sophomore, redshirt sophomore? He's a young guy, I know that.
He definitely he absolutely has less collegiate experience than Levis does. That's for sure.
Yeah, and to me, I guess I don't know why. Don't get me wrong. If this was me, if I was the coach, I'm taking Richardson. But I really tried this year, Mike, to try to get into like the what they may feel, what they may think. And I don't know, dude. I just feel like this is a Colts kind of pick. I really do. I just feel like this is something the Colts are going to possibly do. They're going to want a few, the few more ticks on the odometer, if you will. With somebody behind center, they're trying to find their next Peyton Manning, man. That's it. That's what they want. They want that guy who's going to step in and just take them away. Like that's what I'm. So I don't know. I'm going to go with that. I think it's solid. Some of you out there are probably going, "Wow, you're stupid," and that's okay. But I don't know, man. I just kind of feel like the Colts will do something like that. So yeah, there it is, Mike.
There it is, and you make a good point in that teams do take experience into account. Mm-hmm. Like that is absolutely something that when teams are evaluating players, this guy's only been a starter for 2 years, whereas this guy was for 3, and things like that. So that is a fair evaluation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. No, I guess.
However,
go ahead.
However, Adam Karnick and Cale Henderson agree with me. So.
Well, no, and that's good. That's yes. I'm just saying, I just really tried to think of, hey, if I was the Colts, and I just feel like that's going to be it. But the next pick in Seattle, well, that's to be continued. Mike, who you got?
Now is where we start to get interesting. Now is where the draft, you start to have more options available to you in terms of value, need, fit, all that jazz. So for Seattle, one of the things you have to remember about Seattle has 5 picks in the first, 80? 5 of the first 80 picks in the draft. So they have a lot of ammunition at their disposal. They can take a shot or two on guys with incredible upside, but maybe, dealing with some off the field stuff, maybe, not showing as great right now. I have the Seahawks taking defensive tackle Jalen Carter out of Georgia. Like I said earlier, this guy has not had the greatest pre-draft process, but when you turn on the tape, he is a monster. He is what's the term, Larry? Hog molly?
Hog molly.
He is a hog molly in the middle. And we have to remember, for Seattle, back when they had the Legion of Boom and those fantastic defenses in the early to mid 2010s, one of the key components of those defense was they were incredibly powerful and stout in the middle with Brandon Mebane, and I think Clinton McDonald was the other defensive tackle. Both very good football players who held the middle. They kept their linebackers clean so Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright could run all over the place, and they forced teams to pass into the strength of that defense. So for Seattle's defense, to get back to those glory days, one of the key things they need to do is re-solidify the interior of that defensive line, and they could do it right here, right now, with Jalen Carter.
That is awesome. No, I love that. Reason being is because, yes, do you remember a guy by the name of Nate Clemens, Mike?
Yes,
Mebane.
Yes, actually, I do.
Yeah, freaking Mebane. These guys were monsters on that defensive line. So, yes. And Pete Carroll's still there. And from the looks of things, he's not going anywhere either. He's just going to ride this sucker out, man. And, hey, it's what it is, bro. He's on it, man. As a teacher, I work with some teachers that have been there since, 1975, it's crazy. And they're still rocking and rolling, Mike. They're like, yep, I'm not going nowhere. I don't give a crap. So, I don't know. I kind of feel like Pete Carroll's just grown some roots into that organization, and I don't know, but this is going to, of course, this is going to be where I go a different direction with these guys, because they have every single need. Not every single. They have a lot of needs. Of course, that defensive line is a big need as well. But I don't know. I'm not sure if Smith is the guy. I don't know what they're going to do or say or think. I don't know if Pete Carroll sold on him, and I do know that Pete Carroll absolutely loves those guys who can run around the field and make things happen. I think it's going to be a quarterback battle. I really do. I think it's going to be a quarterback battle in Seattle this year, and you know what? Hey, let's see what they got, man. I want to see if this happens. I'm going to have Anthony Richardson going here to Seattle because, once again, he's a lot like Russell used to be. You know, he's a lot like that, and I feel like it's not that Smith isn't good. He's proved himself. He's been pretty solid, but I don't know, man. I just feel like, you know, Geno Smith fought up. He made himself a starter. He's, you know, pretty good, but at the end of the day, it's like, I don't know. I don't know if it was enough for Seattle last year to be like, yep, this is our dude. Like, so I don't know. I mean, it could be. I mean, I could be completely, you know, tripping over here. I get it, but I just kind of feel like they're gonna want a shake up there, and if they can get the dude who can run around the field and be the absolute freak of nature, who cares how much experience this guy has? To me, that just fits. It fits so well with Pete Carroll and what like they would want in that offense. I mean, he can sling the ball over the field. He's a very, very good competitor. I don't know. I just feel like he's a lot like, you know, once again, what Russell Wilson was there. So maybe, I don't know, maybe they're going to do, I don't know. That's a tough one. It's tough to say, but it's very, very possible if he's still on the board. So that's what I'm going with. But yeah, that's something I had to think about for a little bit there, Mike.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And honestly, a quarterback to Seattle at 5 is starting to gain more and more traction as the possibility of Houston passing on a quarterback becomes a little bit more of a potential reality.
Yeah. And I like that. Because this guy, I don't know, this team needs something. I mean, really, they're in a very, very tough division. It's, I don't know, there just needs.
And additionally, to your point on Geno Smith, yes, they did re-sign him, but if you look at the structure of that contract, the structure of the guarantees, they could get out of it for a decent amount of money next year, but even less the year after. So Seattle going quarterback super early is not as wild a scenario as some people are making it out to be.
Agreed. So this is awesome. I love it. We're having fun so far. Once again, if you were just tuning in, you are listening to our very special 2023 NFL mock draft edition of 3 and Out right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. My boy, Mr. Mike Patt, and myself here doing our thing as per usual, just getting through the first 5 picks. On to pick number 6. What you got for us, Mike?
Alrighty, so now, to me, pick 6 and pick 7, and yes, I am alluding to 7, I'm emphasizing to you, Larry B, is where the draft really starts to get volatile. 5, I'm not as not as wary of like being an, oh my gosh, this is going to turn everything around pick, but 6 could be interesting because Detroit could go a couple different directions here, and what they do will have an impact on the next 3 or 4 picks and then right on down the line. So a couple of weeks ago, it was a move that went under the radar a little, but the Lions actually traded former top 5 pick Jeff Okudah to the Falcons, cornerback Jeff Okudah. So they traded away one of their projected top 3 corners for this upcoming season. And yesterday, this made big headlines. Several Detroit players were suspended for betting on NFL and non-NFL games, one of whom was defensive back CJ Moore. So in the past 2 weeks, Detroit has lost 2 defensive backs for varying reasons. So that is starting to lend me to believe that this pick, which I had as a defensive lineman for the longest time, might actually be trending towards a defensive back instead. So I have Oregon cornerback Christian Gonzalez here at 6. This guy is tall. He is long. He is a great athlete. He'll step in day one as a boundary outside corner. Not quite the level of Ahmad Gardner last year, but he is a player who I think can make an impact and really help Detroit's secondary this year and for the next decade.
That is a great pick. Oh my gosh, that's a great pick. Detroit can really do what they want. You're right. Detroit's like the Raiders, man. They need to. If we can draft a team, can we draft a franchise? I mean, that would be great. Let's draft a franchise, like, you know.
They're another team that's got a bunch of picks.
Yeah. I mean, it's true, man. And yeah, I feel like the Lions are definitely on the up and up. It seems, but a team who's definitely not on the up and up is the Raiders. But with both of them being next to each other, Mike, this is a little different here. Look, I don't know. Detroit, there's a lot of great players left on the board right now. Tons, of course. We've only gotten through freaking 5 of them. So everybody on the board right now, or at least for the rest of that first round, is gonna do something. At least you'd hope. But honestly, Mike, seriously, I just feel like there's a dude right now sitting there that the entire concept of the game is hit the quarterback before he throws the ball, before he does anything. If the quarterback doesn't get the ball to anybody, then that's a bonus. And honestly, Detroit, this is open for the first time in years. Aaron Rodgers, I know it's a lot of drama and whatever, but okay, he's going to the Jets. But I mean, come on, man. You got to catch the Vikings. They're the new strong team there, but in the NFC North. But come on, man. The Bears, I'm sorry, Adam, but you know, there's not much, you know, I mean, that offensive line, they're you know, decent at best. Then
apologies to Adam Karnick listening.
Apologies to Adam Karnick. You got the Packers, who now, I mean, Jordan Love is awesome. We know he's probably going to step in and do his thing. Maybe not. But, you know, they're not the powerhouse they once were. And the Vikings have taken off. But, seriously, they can be caught. And if you have a dude who can just be a disruptor, I don't know. I just felt like the Lions should go with this guy if he's there. He was pretty freakish in college. I'm going to go Tyree Wilson, defensive end, out of Texas Tech. Is that insane, Mike, or no?
That is not insane, sir. In fact, that was actually my pick up until a couple weeks ago.
It's a good pick, right? I mean, you'd think. I mean, I like where you went. You really thought about this, and I can honestly see that easy. But it's, I don't know. I feel like if things are going the way that, you know, at least I'm putting the draft together, you know, in my head, like I can see this happen. And why not just take that freak of nature player? Because hell, what's the worst that's gonna happen? You know what I mean? I mean, he's gonna get his hits. The guy is a absolute beast. So, you know, there's a guy that came out of Texas Tech a couple years ago that plays quarterback for the Chiefs that's pretty good. So I'm just saying, maybe they got something.
Yeah, what's the worst that happens? They have two 6'7" towers at defensive end? No.
Yeah. Yeah. So it
tragedy.
Tragedy. It is the Lions, Mike. I'm just kidding. No. But anyway, in the chat room, Davidson Crooks, good morning to you, sir. Good afternoon, good morning, whichever it is now. And Davidson says, Detroit goes defense. He says, yep. He says, one of the top corners. Now, I could also see the corner there going. There's some good corners right now on the board. I could totally see that. We got some solid players here. I know Gonzalez is a beast of a corner coming up here. Porter, Banks. So I could totally see that. They can go wherever they want to. What's the other young man? There's another young man out of Illinois.
Witherspoon.
Witherspoon. So they can totally take any of these guys. Davidson, I don't think they'd be wrong. They're just Detroit, and they're trying to do something because, you know.
By the way, Devin Witherspoon out of Illinois is who Cale Henderson has Detroit taking with this pick.
I can see it. I mean, seriously, you know that meme, Mike, where it's the little kid poking the logo with a stick? Come on, do something.
Yeah, do something.
That's that's the Lions. Just continue to poke. It's not it's dead. Poor thing. Like, I mean, come on, wake it up. I mean, seriously, man. I mean, it seems like it's dead. You know, poor thing. But anyway, Mike. So that's where I'm going with that one. I like it though. Solid picks around. And well, you said who did Adam Karnick have?
Adam Karnick actually has Jalen Carter going here.
Oh. He's not wrong. Another player.
No. I think if Carter's on the board, then I could absolutely see Detroit taking Jalen Carter.
Yeah, that's another monster. Well, we're going to talk about Jalen Carter in a few minutes here, actually. So, yes, good stuff there. So, okay, good overall. We're up to 6 now. We're actually up to 7, and oh, here we go. Mike, it's Raider time. Goody. All right, pick number 7. What you got?
So for about the first month and a half of the pre-draft process, I had this as a quarterback for the Raiders. But over the course of the process, my belief has changed a little. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you look at the Raiders, let's talk about the Raiders for a second, Larry B. I know you love to.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
This is a team that has a veteran head coach. They have a very good set of weapons on offense. Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, you know the whole group. They have a offensive line that is that has a variety of opinions about them, but I think on the whole it's a decent offensive line. And they just went out and signed a veteran quarterback. To me, this team is not as deeply in rebuild mode as I initially thought. So I think they would go with a player who can help them more immediately than drafting a quarterback who would sit behind Jimmy G for a year and not help the team right away. So that is why I have them going with Devin Witherspoon, cornerback out of Illinois.
Good pick.
Both Witherspoon and Gonzalez are both very good corners. They've got great skill sets. They've got great size. They remind me a little of when, I think it was the 2020 or 2021 draft, when J.C. Horn and Patrick Surtain came out in the same time. Two guys, you can probably point to a flaw or two in their game, but they're definitely top 10 worthy corners. And I think both of those guys help Detroit with, in the case of Gonzalez, and then the Raiders with Witherspoon.
That's a great pick, Mike. I like that a lot. Because, once again, they can't be wrong either. Our secondary is... We actually don't have one. Our secondary is just a bunch of guys that they're wearing the uniform, but they don't really do anything. So, I'm sorry for being so harsh, but last year says it all. So, realistically...
Once again, I'll do it for half the price.
Yeah, seriously. My gosh. Seriously. I mean, these guys are... I don't know. There's not a lot there that I can seriously just be like, oh yeah, I'm confident about our secondary. No, I'm actually not confident about anybody. I mean, Jimmy G can come in. I'm not even confident about him. I'm not confident about him. We let go of Darren Waller. I get it. He was unhappy with it. I'd be unhappy too. It's I don't know. It's ridiculous, But anyway, before I start just going full on Raider bashing mode here, honestly, Mike, this was a tough one for me because it's hard. There's a guy by the name of Chandler Jones that I don't know how much longer he's got, and he showed up 3 or 4 times last year, man. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't want to sound like this freaking a-hole. But I don't know. Crosby delivers. Chandler Jones just didn't have it. He scored a really cool touchdown versus his old team, the Patriots.
But that was also a gift. You and I could have scored that touchdown.
Exactly. Honestly, I just don't see it, man. I think he's just probably on the out. I mean, I don't know how old he is. I think he's definitely in his 30s. He's probably right around our age, Mike, around there. But and it's I don't know. I feel like I got all kinds of gears. But I don't know. Is he really beat down that bad? I mean, I didn't play in the league. He did. So it's is he really that beat down at 33? Because looked him up. He's a heck of an athlete, man. But at the end of the day, I just don't know. I don't know what's going on with this team. I don't know. But what I do know is that there's a guy that can really help that. Either A, this dude is freakish enough to not only replace him with Chandler Jones if Chandler Jones feels like not playing, which is fine, or he actually is absolutely freakish enough to where I'd put this guy on the 3 technique and let him do his thing, man. He is a absolute psycho. I know he's a little lighter, but this guy's awesome, man. This guy is what you want. I love the Witherspoon pick. I think that'd be a good pick as well. But I'm gonna say screw it. If you have a dude, once again, go Detroit's way, or at least the way I have them going. If there's a guy on the board that can help you just go hit the quarterback, make it happen. That's why I'm gonna go crazy. But I'm gonna go with an absolute psycho player, Nolan Smith out of Georgia, because this dude is good, man. I mean, what? Just get the job done. Get 4 dudes up there. Tillery. He was all right. He was more of a disappointment, honestly. I thought he'd be a little bit better, but maybe, I think it's his first year with us. Let's see. But move him inside. I don't know. But what I do know is that I would like 4 guys to go hit the damn quarterback. I mean, my goodness, especially against the Chargers, where you have a guy like Herbert. You know what I mean? Like, this is just, I don't know. To me, it's just, this is a guy that I feel can really, really make it happen. I get it. Clellan, a defensive end from Clemson, national championship team. A couple years ago it happened. I don't know. I just never felt like he was actually that good. But I don't know. I feel like Smith could be a dude that they can get and go with early. But Stephen Davidson says here in the chat room, too early for Smith for me. And I get you. It's just, once again, Witherspoon is a great pick as well. I went back and forth with that one as well. But just help somebody. I mean, seriously, there's SOS flags everywhere, Mike. I mean, the Raiders need more help than, the Raiders are a third world country. That's all there is to it.
It's exactly like the meme you just described with the poking of the stick.
Yes.
Do something.
Yes. Yeah. Going back to the movie, Mike, people pay to get wet. Make a splash. I love that movie. So, all right, Mike, who's everybody else got?
So let's see. So we've got Adam Karnick on the same path as me. He went with Christian Gonzalez. Mm-hmm. And Cale Henderson actually has the team going with Will Levis. So there you go.
Yeah. I heard a quarterback is a good thing to have.
Yeah, I heard a quarterback's a good thing to have.
Yeah, and I honestly I'm not mad at him either. I like that, actually, because we don't know what Jimmy G is going to do. I'm actually just preparing for the worst. Sorry, I'm a Raider fan. I don't know what good thoughts are, Mike. I'm sorry. So anyway, with that said, pick number 8.
Alrighty, now we get to the Atlanta Falcons, who, in this scenario, I imagine they would be thrilled to land this guy, because I know a lot of people have him going earlier than this. In fact, both you and Adam Karnick have this guy off the board, and Cale Henderson actually agrees with me. If he's on the board, this would be the Falcons' pick. I've got Tyree Wilson here. I mean, the man is just a physical specimen.
Yes.
You can play him all over the defensive front. You can play him both edge spots. You can rush him inside as a 3 technique. You could play in the 3-4, which the Falcons kind of use that kind of off 3-4, 4-3 kind of mixed defensive scheme. Mm-hmm. So that works perfectly. And he'll come in day one. He will be stout against the run, and he will use his length and athleticism to impact the passing game.
I love it. Yes, if he falls there, he's going to do very well. I love that because, yes, why not? Absolute freak of nature athlete. Once again, the reason why I have him going to Detroit, why not just take him, damn it? But the Falcons need something. The Falcons need that, all right? So, agreed. Well, since I already had Wilson going over to Detroit, in my opinion, a guy who's maybe a little bit better than he is, absolute anchor, monster. You guys already talked about him already. But if he's there, why not? The Falcons had this guy this guy named Grady, who's pretty damn good in the middle of that defensive line. And why not add another one of those, Jalen Carter? Because if he's there, you kind of pick him. I just don't know why. If he is there at that point in time, how you don't go with this guy. He's not gonna, nothing bad's gonna happen. I mean, he's that guy where, you introduce him to the defensive line. That's about it. That's all you gotta do. Just let him go in there and do his thing. I don't really think that's like somebody asking me, like, hey man, do you want $100 or do you want $100? Bid what? Do I get a choice of anything more? No, I guess $100. Here you go. Like, I mean, nothing bad's going to come out of me getting $100, unless this is a counterfeit. But, I mean, seriously, man. I mean, it's like my job telling me, hey, you want a $100 raise? What? Yeah, $100 raise. Seriously? I mean, to me, I guess nothing bad's going to come out of that, Mike. I don't know. So, yeah.
Right.
So, Jalen Carter, I got him going there, man. What do you got for the rest of the guys?
Let's see. So, Cale Henderson agrees with me. Tyree Wilson. And then Adam Karnick has Devin Witherspoon.
I like it, too. I can see any of those happening as well. And once again, Atlanta, I mean, let's just be real, man. Carolina, my gosh, almost everybody we went over so far, almost, because I will say maybe the Cardinals are a little bit closer than everybody, maybe not. At least the Cardinals have the pieces, but I don't know if they're smart enough to do everything with them. But everyone we talked about right now, Mike, and that with the first 8 picks, those are all like emergency, like help us please, send us care packages, we need it, we are I mean, right, Mike? Seriously.
I mean, Seattle did make the playoffs, and Detroit was the last team out of the playoffs, so I would say those two are not quite in SOS mode but the other 6, I'd agree with you.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, you got me there. So, all right, Mike, so pick number 9. Oh, we're going to Bearland.
Yes, indeed we are. Shout out to Adam Karnick, our resident Bears fan. So, a very popular pick for the Bears, and this is actually the route that Adam Karnick and Cale Henderson went as well, has been offensive line. And I'm not arguing that isn't a need. However, I think the Bears could just as easily address the other side of the trenches. Now, also, every year there's a pick in the top 10 that's a little bit surprising. Some people would describe it as a reach, stuff like that. So I think Chicago does a little bit of a reach here, not a massive reach, but a little bit. And I think they go with Myles Murphy, defensive end out of Clemson. They need help on the pass rush. They did not really do a ton to address the defensive line specifically in free agency. There is offensive line help in this draft in days 2 and early in day 3. They'll be able to find that. But if they want to take their shot at an impact defensive lineman, they might have to do that a little bit earlier. So that is why I've got the Bears going with Murphy.
That's solid, Mike. That's solid. I honestly, that's okay. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, "Oh, come on, Mike." Like, no. That's why not? Murphy's a psycho. Like, I like that a lot because, I mean, once again, what's really bad gonna happen out of that? I mean, this dude is gonna help you. And yeah, I mean, Clemson player. The guy is a beast. Adam Karnick says here in the chat room, I mean, the Bears' pass rush was literally non-existent last year, so I can't argue with that pick, Mike. Yeah, I mean, it's true. It's hard. It's very hard to not. Now, I'll tell you right now, Mike, I'm going to be the only, I guess you were the only cool one here, because I wanted to be one of the cool ones. I really did. To try to, pick outside and not go with what everyone else is saying. It's just hard for me, Mike. It's hard for me to not pick the monster that is Peter Skoronski, because he's huge. The guy is freaking, I mean, he's not super duper crazy huge, 6'4", 313. I just want to make sure, I wanted to look him up, see how big he was. He's not like monstrous big, but who cares? I mean, usually you want really tall tackles, but the guy proved himself at Northwestern. He's a homegrown talent, really, right there in the Illinois, Chicago area. The guy is an absolute monster, and if you want, I mean, you went and got Fields. It just makes sense to protect him, and I think Adam. I mean, I even know you said you would think the same exact thing. It just helped this guy out a little bit. That's the only reason why I got him going. But yeah, Mike, honestly, a pass rush though. I mean, why not? Hey, you tell your 5 guys now to freaking get it together, or they're no longer going to have a uniform. Basically, and block for Fields. And then you go get a guy on defense who can make things really hard for the other teams, especially if you got Detroit, who's coming out. They're doing their thing, and you got the Vikings who are running wild. And now you can finally step out of the shadows of the Packers. I mean, it makes perfect sense, Mike.
I think it does, but I also, if the Bears came in on draft night and drafted Skoronski, I would not fault them in the slightest, and neither would Adam and Kale, who also have Skoronski.
He's a beast, man, and he's...
Or maybe I'm the oddball, but I'm okay with that.
I want to be the oddball, because I know offensive line, boring, whatever, but this one just makes sense, because gosh dang it, you want to protect this kid, man. He is as advertised, but you got to give him some protection. So I like it. So with that said, Mike, we are on to pick number 11.
We're on pick number 10, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. Pick number 10. I'm sorry, the Eagles. I'm going far. I'm sorry. I'm going too far.
Yeah, you're jumping ahead there. Well, all of that great stuff you just said about Skoronski, I'm just going to duplicate it and put it here.
Yeah.
So I have the Eagles taking Skoronski. They lost guard Isaac Seumalo in free agency. They have a couple of aging pieces on the offensive line, and the Eagles love to stack the trenches. They love to draft guys, even if they don't necessarily have an immediate need in the trenches. They like to get depth and get options, and if injuries happen, they're prepared. So I think they take Skoronski. I think he's got the tenacity and the competitiveness to come in and start at guard. He would be at guard day one. He could be your emergency offensive tackle option if you suffer an injury out there. Plus, Lane Johnson, longtime Pro Bowl offensive tackle for the Eagles, turns 33 in 8 days.
Crap.
So he's starting to get up there in age. He might call it after a year or two. He might stick around for forever. But guys like Skoronski, he reminds me a lot of Brandon Scherf and Zach Martin when they came out. College tackles who were dominant, who offensive tackle was not their spot in the NFL. And that was okay because they moved to guard and became Pro Bowlers. So,
yeah.
Where's the fault there? I don't see it.
No, I'm totally with you. I like that too. That can be huge. That can be absolutely huge. Because if you got a guy, and Davidson Crook says here in the chat room, wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles move back. But if they stay, Robinson from the Texans would be my pick. Now, that's actually okay. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said the Texans. I'm sorry, I'm in NFL mode. From Texas. And, yeah, he's the guy I got going a little bit later, spoiler alert. But, yeah, he's a... Robinson, if you're talking about the same guy, I think he's the only Robinson, that running back out of Texas, man. He's pretty solid. But yeah, I mean, we haven't seen the explosive running game, I guess, from the Eagles. But then again, they were in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't know, I get it. They had a lot of pieces. That offensive line is absolutely monstrous. Put a guy like Robinson behind him. Not a bad pick there, Davison. I think I could see the logic there. But so
Robinson is a very popular choice for them here.
It really is. It really, really is. So Davison Crooks, thank you, sir, for jumping on in there. Pick number 10 for me with those Philadelphia Eagles. This team, this guy, I don't know. I feel like this is, this is something you can call me crazy for. And I am okay with being crazy.
You're crazy.
Yeah, thank you. I know. It's like, I hear that sometimes. But I don't know, man. Why not just... They have an immense... And I'm talking about immense defense. They have a lot going on there in Philly. I love what they have. They have an absolute plethora of players. It's really hard, honestly, to pick for the Eagles because you're like, well, shoot, what else do they need? I mean, it's hard. It's very, 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 very hard to try to pick somebody that can, another weapon for these guys somewhere. But I honestly thought that was a very good pick as well. Davidson. And because, I mean, they got their receivers. They got everybody. You know, I mean, Goddard's been pretty well. Goddard. I mean, they've had a solid group of players. But I was trying to make this a surprise and try to not sound like I was agreeing with you, Mike. But I'm also going to go big man here. Because, well, hell, they got everything else. So just continue to make that freaking offensive line even crazier. And yeah, that is why I am definitely going to take a guy that I think everyone knows all too well. Paris Johnson Jr. out of Ohio State. Because, well, the guy is freakishly big. I like the move to guard there, Mike. I feel like they will find their footing with this and just kind of be like, all right, cool, let's throw another big man up there. I mean, once again, you have everything else. I think Penny was a good pickup, and the guy is pretty damn good. Just give him solid, give him something to work with back there. Maybe they'll find somebody else coming up later on in the draft. But as of right now, why not go with the sure thing? You have a really, really good football team right now. Just make them even stronger in the place that they were the absolute strongest. We all thought the offensive line was going to make it happen for them versus the Chiefs, and they didn't. So maybe a little more strength, they would have won that game. I don't know, but that's where I'm going, Mike.
Yeah, and don't forget, Paris Johnson was a guard up until last year at Ohio State. So the guy's got experience there, too.
He does. I know, I was trying to, like, not be all in agreement, so it's not like a surprise, Mike, but I failed at that. My bad. But no, yeah, the guy is an absolute freak of nature, and I think he'd fit right in there.
Agreed.
Pick number 11. Whoa, what's that? What do the boys got?
So Adam has defensive end Luke Van Ness going here, and Cale Henderson has cornerback Christian Gonzalez.
Add another corner. I'll take that. I mean, hey, they got.
Why not?
It's just hard though, because gosh damn it, they have corners for days, man. And I was thinking about going corner. I was going to think about putting Witherspoon there, honestly, but I don't know. Why not just make this damn offensive line even stronger? So I mean, I'm with it. So alrighty. Where are we at now? We are pick number 11, I believe, right?
Yep, Tennessee Titans.
Oh, boy.
Boy. I tried to think of this from the view of Tennessee. You have just seen, in the top 10, two of your division rivals take their quarterbacks of the future. Your third division rival already has their quarterback, and he's starting to look like a freaking beast. Mm-hmm. So I got to figure they've got to get this quarterback situation right for the future. Rumor has it that they've already lost faith in Malik Willis, who was their third-round pick last year. Also, he was just a third-round pick. That's not really a commitment that he's your franchise quarterback. So I have the Titans selecting quarterback Will Levis. Get him on the team. He's got a couple of mechanical issues that the team's identified on his pro day that are fixable. You give him a year behind Ryan Tannehill. Let Tannehill lead the team to their, traditional, 6, 7, 8 win mark, that Tannehill would lead them to. And you've got your quarterback secured. Let him develop for a year. And now, hopefully, you're in position to keep pace with the rest of the division's young quarterbacks.
I can see that. You're getting some pushback at the chat room here, Mike. Of course, Davidson Crooks, Tennessee Titans fan, says he wants Jackson Smith-Njigba, and I believe this man, that's a very good pickup. This is depending on if they trade up. And then once you said Levis, Davidson responds with 2 words. Hell no. Well, as you can see, the Titans fan here doesn't like that very much.
Fair enough.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to have a popular pick either of these guys. I don't know. The Titans are so damn hard. They are a hard team to pick for because the Titans are the team that continually just lets their fans down. Like, seriously. Like, they have a team, and then they just look like crap. And then they have a good team, and then they look like crap. And then and it's like, okay, we get it. They bully the rest of their division, but then they get to the playoffs, and they're just one and done. I mean, it sucks. And it's not their fault their division sucks. It's just the way it is, Now they're getting better. The Jaguars, getting better. The Colts, well, they're the Colts. And the Houston... Dang, their division does suck. Anyway, just saying, I'll tell you right now, Davidson also says here, if not an offensive lineman to complete the rebuild there, and I agree with that. Adam also says, Davidson won't like my Titans pick then. Oh boy, he's probably got a quarterback going there. But overall, Mike, yeah, it's hard to kind of put anybody there, really. But I was going to go exactly with what Davidson was saying, so maybe it wasn't the most... Maybe it was a popular pick. I mean, not a unpopular pick there, but I'm going to go with Broderick Jones because, I don't know, Mike. I feel like the Titans need like 3 or 4 first-rounders like to make that team better. I don't know. They're weird. That team, they're not necessarily the Raiders, because I'll tell you right now, they'll beat the crap out of the Raiders. But I don't know, man. It's just, there's something there that's keeping them. And why not just try to build the big boys? I mean, if anything, Derrick Henry's getting older, but give him more, who else they got over there? I mean, Tannehill's their guy, I guess. As you said, Malik Willis, I don't really know. I feel like Levis is a great pick, honestly. I mean, now looking at their depth chart, yeah, that's actually a very good pick because, I mean, yeah, but they need weapons. They need more receivers that, can get the job done. I mean, another tight end would probably be good. Gosh damn it, they need a lot of stuff. I mean, I'm just looking at their depth chart right now. I'm sorry, but Davison says here, he says, I agree, Larry. He says they need talent on the offensive line, or on the offensive side of the ball. And yeah, and honestly, I don't think Levis is a bad, I don't know. I mean, depending on, how old is Tannehill, Mike?
Well, Tannehill came in the same draft as Andrew Luck and RG3, so...
Oh, crap.
It's been around a while.
He's been around, yeah. Well, that's why, like I said, I'm going Broderick Jones. Why not? I mean, the guy, he can't hurt. He's a big boy. He's 34 years old. So, yeah, he's right next to where I am right now. I'm just kidding. So, he's older. I don't think Levis would be a bad pick, Davidson. I'm just saying. I mean, you need something younger in there. So, I don't know. Maybe, but then again, Tannehill maybe has a few years left in him. Build the offensive line, finish out with him, see what it does. But good stuff there. And how about everybody else, Mike?
So, Kale went with Jackson Smith Njigba, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
And Adam Karnick agreed with me with Will Levis.
Why not? I think it's pretty good. I really think that's a pretty good pick there. So, all right, Mike, what do we got next?
So excuse me. So next we come to Houston's second pick of the first round. And this one I have them going with. So I had them with CJ Stroud with the second overall pick. Now I have them taking Stroud's teammate, Jackson Smith Njigba, with this pick. He is a smooth receiver, a excellent athlete, dealt with some injury issues last year. But overall, he is probably the most well-prepared, ready receiver to contribute in this draft class with very few flaws. Reminds me a lot of, interestingly enough, his former college teammates, Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, when they came out.
You know what? That is awesome. I like that. I didn't go that direction, but oh my gosh, that sounds nice. Like, that really, I mean, if you're going to go get Stroud, get him some weapons, I like the pick. Very, very, very good job there. I went the other direction because they need everything. The Texans need everything. Like I said,
they do need a lot.
They do. And it's kind of hard. I don't think any really any pick is wrong for these guys. This is where I have Devin Witherspoon going. He's in my opinion probably the best corner. He's my first corner going off the board, and he's solid. The guy is a great athlete out of Illinois. I mean, gosh dang it, the Bears could have used him. I mean, a lot of teams would have liked this guy. And there's other corners. Once again, we've talked about them already, who are going to be just as good. But this guy right here, he's number one for a reason off my board. I think he's got everything, most complete. Heck of an athlete, but we shall see. But that's who I got Houston taking with the number 12. How about the other guys?
Well, so Adam Karnick agreed with me again. We both have JSN, which is what people have started to call him on social media to shorten the syllables. And Kale actually has Kalijah Cansey, defensive tackle out of Pitt, which is, I find, a very interesting and good selection.
Once again, you can't go wrong with those guys. It's just sad but true, so I'll take it. All right, so pick number 13. Are we at 13 already, Mike? My gosh.
We are at 13, yes, sir.
13. Let's keep it rolling, brother. What you got?
All righty. So the Jets are... How do we talk about the Jets, Larry?
We don't.
Fair. I mean, gosh, this team they feel like they're in such limbo right now because of this whole Aaron Rodgers situation that I didn't know what direction to go here. But offensive line always seems to be a safe bet. So I just went with offensive line, and I went with Paris Johnson out of Ohio State.
Yeah.
He'll help the tackle spot. He can play left tackle or right tackle. I don't think they need any help at guard right now. So I do not expect him to play there. But offensive line seems like it's a safe bet, so I went with Paris Johnson.
That is pretty good. Once again, it's hard to pick. It's hard to pick wrong for the Jets too. My gosh, do they need help? The whole Aaron Rodgers thing is just kind of weighing them down. This is weird. If you look at their depth chart, I mean, they got Lazard now, but they don't know really what's going on now with the Jets. I mean, Davidson says here, O-line seems safe for the Jets, and, I mean, it's hard to go. I mean, you got Becton, which, I mean, Tomlinson. They had a pretty okay offensive line last year. So they believe it or not, the Jets were not in the basement the whole year. I mean, there was a point where the Patriots were, and the Jets actually looked pretty good. I mean, they just burned out. So, I mean, really, it looks like the Jets can pick whoever they really want to because they can. But this is where I'm going to say, just screw it. Do what you got to do to get Rodgers. It's already out there. I mean, my gosh, just finish. It's like getting a tattoo and then, like, during your second session, just saying you don't want it no more. Like, you've already started the process. It's already there. It seems like everything's good. It's out there in the media already. Like, I know the situation's really weird and everything, but just give Rodgers what he wants. Let it happen, whatever. Go all in with Rodgers. And why not just go crazy at this point in time and go get him somebody else? He has Lazard coming with him. So at this point in time, this is where I'd be like, screw it. We're going to go add another weapon for him because he likes weapons. And let's just get him whatever he wants because we're the Jets, and JETS stands for just end the suffering. And, I mean, it's like, this is where you just say, let's do everything we can to make our new guy happy. He doesn't have that much longer left in the NFL unless he pulls a Tom Brady, but it's like, okay, let's just go get him more weapons. Let's make him happy. Let's not piss him off. Let's let him know he made the right choice here. And let's get him guys to throw to because he's a quarterback and he'll probably like that. He has an offensive line that once they see he's Aaron Rodgers and he's in the facility, these guys think they're going to block their freaking asses off. So at the end of the day, Mike, this is a tough one for me because I know what you mean, the limbo situation, but screw it. Act like you're going all in. Let's do it. I'm going to go with Jackson Smith. Big vote for this one. Njigba, sorry, wide receiver out of Ohio State. Because once again, why not? If you got Rodgers coming in here, get him every single weapon you could possibly get him. I don't even care if he's a mediocre wide receiver. Get him somebody. Get him more people. Because the more targets this guy has, he's going to light up the field. This is the time to strike, man. The Patriots, they don't know what the hell's going on right now. I mean, Bill Belichick, I don't know what's going on right now with the Patriots. They got some issues, man. It's just, I don't know. They got some things going on. The Dolphins are sparking, and they're going to run away pretty soon here. And the Bills, it's the freaking Bills. This team has been really good the last couple of years. So if you want to compete in this division, you just get what you need. I mean, seriously. So I know, I'm sorry for the long one there, Mike, but I don't know. Just try your best. Get Rodgers and get what he wants. That's it.
There you go.
All right, Mike. Who's everyone else got?
Everybody else actually agreed with me. All three of us have Paris Johnson here to the Jets.
And once again, not a bad deal. Not a bad deal.
Nope.
Offensive linemen can always help. So, all right, Mike, on to pick number 14.
Alrighty, so this pick was probably, if I'm looking down the list here, this is the first one where everybody just went wildly different directions. It's because, the Patriots, they're not the Patriots that they were in the Tom Brady era, where they could just apparently find anybody off the street to come in and become an all-pro wide receiver or a Pro Bowl offensive lineman and things like that. So this is the team with different needs on both sides of the ball. I went with a guy who I think has risen pretty steadily through the pre-draft process. I went with Broderick Jones here. They have not had great success at fulfilling the left tackle spot long term in recent years. So I think they need to take their shot and see if they can get a guy who can do that. And to me, on the board right now, Jones is probably the best option for that.
I can see that. No, and I like that. I like that a lot. That I went a different direction, but Mike, I've seen mock drafts with what's that? There's that big young man out of gosh dang it, he's slipping me, Mike. Out of Tennessee, he's a giant.
Darnell Wright.
He's a big boy. He's like 6'7", right, or something like that. He's a big guy. Like that's.
He's like 6'6" and a half. He's fast.
The guy's freaking big, and I see that, and I also see guys like Paris Johnson. I can see Broderick Jones. I can see a lot because, of course, you got Mac. You don't know what's going to happen, but try to get whoever you can over there. I don't know, but if I'm the Patriots, I'm going okay. We have offense-ish. We need to really help this defense out. Damn it, what do? Do we try to keep up with the Joneses on offense when we already have something that's kind of working, even though it's not really working? I mean, I guess Mac Jones is our guy. We got Zappy, who we really liked. They went and got Trace McSorley. I don't know if you saw that, Mike. But they went and got him too. I mean, it's going to probably be that's a race right there because I don't think any of them are superior than the other, honestly. So, I mean, But, okay, Ramondre Stevenson now, and they got Juju Smith-Schuster. They went out and got him. Hunter Henry's decent. They go and got Devontae Parker. I mean, there's pieces there. That's not an all-star offensive line. I mean, offense at all, really. I like Bradley Reef a lot, but and Trent Brown. But at the end of the day, it's like, maybe those guys will hold them, maybe they won't. But why don't you just go the other way? If you got this highest-scoring Bills team, if you got this Dolphins team who is really damn good right now and who's just getting better, and if you got the Jets who are possibly going to get Aaron Rodgers, just go the other direction. Make your offense be able to compete, but damn it, go get somebody on the other side of the ball that can help combat all those pretty good offenses. And honestly, this defense isn't that great. Judon is a great player, but overall, quarterbacks put the ball in the air. I get it. Allen runs. Rodgers runs, but, he's a little older now. And, I don't know what's going on with the quarterback situation over there in Miami. But what I do know is that, there's a guy on the board right now that could actually help them out. I like this guy a lot. I think you guys already had him going off the board. I'm going to go Christian Gonzalez, corner out of Oregon. He's a youngster. The guy moves extremely fast. He's got damn good hands. And honestly, why not? They run a 3-4, Mike. The Patriots run a 34. They sometimes have, they have a lot of DBs. They can even have a hybrid nickel type player in there and throw him in there and substitute him for a linebacker. I mean, he's a hitter. The guy can catch. I mean, realistically, Mike, I don't know, man. I'm with it. I think this is going to be if that would happen, why not? I mean, the Patriots, yes, the offense needs help, but they think they figured it out already there, so why not just continue to build the defense and combat these guys? So once again, sorry, another long one there, but I just had to really try to get my point on that one.
Yeah, no, and I think corner is another one of those needs you could easily justify. Adam Karnick actually has them going with Joey Porter Jr., so he agrees with you on the position, just not the name. And then Cale Henderson has them going with Luke Van Ness, so he at least has them addressing that side of the ball, just in a different way. But no, I think if Gonzalez is on the board, then the Patriots would be running up to the podium to make that pick.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because why not, Mike? I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, there is no more. I'm sorry, but guys like Bryce Young and Stroud are off the board now. You know what I mean? So unless you want to trade up and break the bank and, I don't know. But the Patriots at this point, they can't do anything at that 14 that's going to really burst that offense. So screw it, defense. I mean, is what it is. So, but all right, Mike.
I like that. I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that phrase. Screw it, defense.
I mean, right? I mean, dude, think about it. You get a crazy dude who likes to hit people. You know who I've been related to a lot, and I like it. I'll take it. But in the movie that's based off of your Commanders, of course, the Sentinels.
Yep.
You know where I'm going with this. The popular movie, The Replacements with Keanu Reeves. The cop, the crazy psycho linebacker guy. Go get the ball. Go get the ball. Go get the ball. Okay, you want me to get the ball? Yeah, get the ball. Get the ball. Okay, yeah. Go get the ball. Coach, I got you the ball. I got you the ball. Okay. Go sit down. Go sit down. Like,
And then that actor went on to be in like dozens of Marvel movies.
He did?
Yeah, he's I forget the name of the character, but he's Tony Stark's like assistant dude.
Did not know that. That is great.
I'm like 98% sure it's the same actor.
That's awesome. I love it. Well, there it is, Mike. Well, I'll tell you. But like I said, what's wrong with getting a guy like that? Just get somebody who's going to go hit somebody. I mean, gosh damn it. I mean, just do it. I mean, really, screw it, defense, So, all right. So, where are we at, Mike? Pick number 15, correct?
Yes, the Green Bay Packers.
Oh.
Now, when you look at Green Bay's roster, right, it is screaming, to me, it is screaming for them to take an offensive player.
Yeah.
And even Adam Karnick and Cale Henderson actually have them taking the same guy, an offensive player. You know the last time the Packers took an offensive player not named Jordan Love in the draft in the first round? Take a guess. Take a wild guess.
Man, I'm going to go, 15 years? Just kidding.
2011.
Okay, it wasn't 15 years, but damn.
Yeah, you were actually not far off. 2011. I had not turned 20 yet, Larry.
2011.
And the Packers took an offensive player, not Jordan Love, in the first round. This team, for whatever reason, is obsessed with drafting defense in the first round. So I'm going to hedge my bets here and say they're going to go, screw it, defense. And I have them taking a man who you talked about earlier, who is an absolute freak and who will provide ridiculous athleticism to this defense in Nolan Smith out of Georgia.
Oh, what a pick.
This team, like to anticipate their needs. Rashawn Gary, one of their edge rushers, is a free agent after the season. No guarantee they re-sign him. So why not go ahead and get your insurance policy now with one of the pound for pound best athletes in the entire class.
That right there is where's that goddamn applause button? That was a good one. You blindsided me with that one. I like it. I like that a lot. That's because why not, Mike? This team right now, they don't even have an identity yet. They don't. Jordan Love is what, 25? 24? 23?
How many snaps has Jordan Love played?
None.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a number between 0 and 0.
Yeah, I mean, they don't know who they are right now. I mean, Love has been in the league, 5 years now? I think 4 years now. I've been sitting behind Rodgers. I mean, you're right. You're absolutely right. Screw it. Defense. So, I'm right there with you. There's a guy that I think this team is going to, I don't know. Forgive me. Green Bay is so weird. And there's nothing there that screams out to me, Mike, like, oh yeah, this team is going to be a playoff contender. Like, I mean, they could, but I just don't see anything like that right now. I do know that they have guys like Jair Alexander, Tavarius Moore, pretty solid. There's some pretty good, some pretty good players in that secondary. And then I just don't really see the rest of it. I just don't. I like how you brought on the defensive line. I love how you're talking about, bringing, and I'm totally with that. Except I'm just thinking to myself, once again, it's kind of hard. Now you're going a notch lower. I'm sorry, but, Detroit. Okay. I mean, realistically, really all you got a gun for the Vikings. That's really it. I mean,
that in that division, yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Karnick. I'm sorry. The Bears are, and it's his birthday. Happy birthday, by the way, to Mr. Adam Karnick. Happy birthday, sir. Yeah, happy birthday. But I just don't see the Bears being somebody you got to fear just yet. The Lions. I feel like they find a way to screw things up themselves. So, I just kind of feel like if you wait long enough, they'll fall apart. I don't know. This is kind of... So, realistically, why not just add more to the defense? It's so true. So, Green Bay, there's a guy, and this is kind of cool. It's a guy that I think, pretty well, after covering these guys this past year. And honestly, Mike, you can call me silly. I don't know what you want to call me here after this. But honestly, Mike, I'm just going to be as real as I can with you, brother. There's a guy that I really like. If you don't like him, I understand. He's probably not going to go very high in the first round. Some people have him going in the second round. I don't know. I don't like that, though. There's a kid by the name of Deonte Banks. Gosh damn it, Mike. He's a player. I like him. I like what he brings. I like his aura. He looked good with the Terps, man. The guy played pretty damn good. So you know what? Why not just add another dude in that secondary to help? You saw what Woodson was to them. So it's like, why not add another guy like that can be... I'm not trying to call him the next Woodson, but what I'm saying is you add some young, strong, fiery energy back there in that secondary. Make it hard for everybody else to throw. Who the hell's really going to throw on you? Fields likes to run the ball. You know what I mean? Like, the Lions, I don't even know what's going on right now with the Lions. Like, they don't know what they want to do right now. They're sitting here right now doing the same thing we're doing. I don't know. I don't know. And so, it's hard, man. Who do they got over there? Jared Goff. Okay, I get it. He likes it. He'll air the ball out. Perfect. And then you look at the Vikings, air the ball out. Cousins. Perfect. So, add to the defense. I'm going Deonte Banks. I think the kid is solid. I think he deserves a chance. And I think that, I don't know, they might pull the trigger on somebody like him. I don't know if it's going to be him. That's just in my draft. But, somebody, a corner, I feel. But yeah, why not? Screw it, defense.
Screw it, defense.
I like that. Okay. So what do we got next, Mike?
Oh, we've got the Washington Commanders.
Oh, I know that team.
I've heard of them. They're all right. I hear they keep changing their name.
They do.
So, the Commanders have done a good job this offseason of filling various needs around the roster. But one of the things they've done in the process is they have not filled any one need like entirely. Like it feels like they've addressed it, but not like completed it. It's kind of like when you're playing a video game and there's an achievement and you get halfway to achieving it. It's like that feels like what they've done with different pieces in different areas around the roster. So it feels like they've opened themselves up to kind of go best player available or best player at a position of need. Now, there are a couple of offensive linemen here that I could see making an argument for. Darnell Wright being one of them, Osiris Torrance out of Florida being another. But I am going to go with Joey Porter Jr. out of Penn State. This guy is a long, physical corner. He's going to give us that boundary corner that should allow Kendall Fuller to move back more time to the slot, where he has actually in his career been at his best as a slot corner. Not that he's been bad on the outside, but he also has excelled in the slot as well. And that will give this team a really strong nickel package where they can match up with all of these different receiving threats, because there's a lot of them in the division, and help the defense as a whole, help them cover just enough so that this ridiculously talented defensive line can get after it.
My gosh. Mike, first things first, there's a lot of comments in the chat room right now, and I want to get to those, but Mike, I guess, where's that damn applause button again, sir? Yes, you and I are on the same page with the Commanders. Yes, 100% Joey Porter, corner out of Penn State, because damn it, he's there, and he's good. As I always say, Mike, the Commanders have the defensive line from hell. I mean, Young, Payne, Allen, and Sweat. Daron Payne coming into the draft we cheered. We both picked him, I think, in the mock draft. We both picked Montez Sweat, I think, for your Commanders, and look what happened. I don't know. I think we actually picked Chase Young too for you. I'm not sure, man. But I do know for a fact this defensive line is absolutely insane. I love what they bring, and they're just going to keep getting better if you keep adding more craziness to that defense. Screw it. Turn this team into that monstrous juggernaut. I mean, there's already a team not too far from you, Mike. They're not too far from the Commanders there, that prides themselves on great defense. And those Baltimore Ravens look pretty good. Always pride themselves on their defense, so screw it. I mean, the Commanders should do the same damn thing. This team is just, they have pieces, man. They have the pieces. So why not? Yeah, the offense is cool. Let them do their thing. But freaking, if they don't, remember, I always say it at least once a show when we do this show every year, Mike, as a defensive player, if they don't score, we don't lose. So, yes.
That is exactly right.
Yes, Joey Porter is a guy. I like moving Fuller back. I love this. That is great. Mayo has done pretty solid, I think. I mean, you guys have had, Barton Davis. You guys have a pretty okay secondary, man. And adding this guy now, gosh damn it. Yes, let that defensive line eat and let the secondary reap the benefits, man. I mean, I love it. So, getting into the chat room here real quick. Looks like Davidson says Mayer from Notre Dame. I think he had him going to the Jets. I'm not sure, but that was about 11 minutes ago. My apologies, Davidson. Jefferson, what's up, JB of the Magic City scoreboard here on IE Sports Radio joins us. He says he played some last year, and he played quite well. I don't know if he's talking for him. He says, have Green Bay drafting Jackson Smith and Gigba. Okay, I could see that as well. We both talked about that. Kel Henderson in the house right now. He says here, Green Bay will draft a tight end before drafting a first-round wide receiver, LOL. It'd be a slap in the face if they did it now, yeah. And he also says, I'd like to see Sam Howell succeed. It'd be interesting if EB is a fix for the offense. the offensive inconsistency. Agreed. Another good talking point there, Kale. JB responds, Commanders go offensive line in the first round. Offensive line, Cyrus Torrence. How do you think about that, Mike?
I mean, Osiris Torrance is one of my favorite overall prospects in the entire draft. I'm not saying he's going to be a top 10 pick or anything, but if the Commanders took Torrance, I would not lose a minute of sleep over it.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's pretty solid. And by the way, JB said he's talking about Jordan Love here, saying that he played some last year and he played quite well. And I think, yeah, he did step in a little bit. But so let's see here. Kale also says a great defense would assist a young quarterback on the developmental track. Absolutely. JB says here, if you don't score, you don't win. The league caters to the offense, and yeah, I mean, it's sad, but, you know, this is how it goes. Good old offense. Kale responds here, says, I had Deonte Banks in the other mock drafts, but Joey Porter makes sense for JDR. I agree, and yeah, I had Banks going right before to the Packers. So if Porter goes to the Packers, I have Banks falling to the Commanders. I mean, it just makes sense. Those are two very talented young players there in the secondary. Why not? And then, of course, JB said, yeah, he was talking about Jordan Love earlier. So, anyway, all right, Mike, that was Commander Day. Who does everyone else have?
So Adam Karnick has Deonte Banks, and Cale Henderson actually has Nolan Smith. Because screw it, defensive line.
Yes. I mean, if he falls to there, that's hard because now you're like, oh crap, do we add to the secondary or do we just add another monster psycho to the defensive line? You know, and I mean, I don't know. I feel like the Commanders, this is hard for the Commanders to screw up. I mean, that's Biggs, and I don't know, man. I like you guys. I think this team really has a lot of promise, man. They just gotta freaking put it into gear now.
Oh, they can absolutely screw it up.
I mean, come on, Mike. Who would they take that would screw it up? Let me see here. What if they took... I don't know. Let's see if you'd be happy if they took... running back. Let's go with Robinson. Just kidding.
Yeah, honestly, we could run the ball 50 times a game. That would work.
I mean, he's a good player. You guys already have a Robinson, actually.
That's true. It'd be Brian and Bijan.
So, bring back the killer bees from Pittsburgh. I'm just kidding. But, yeah, Kale also says Nolan Smith would add a speed dynamic to the D-line. He's a hybrid. Oh, yeah, he's a hybrid outside linebacker in that 3-1. And I see that. He walk up playing the 9. I can see that. That's a great place for him, kind of like a Von Miller type player. You have Kale here, says that 3-4-4-3 type player, absolutely. Commanders will run a lot with EB as the OC. So, maybe you're already going to run the ball 50 times a game, Mike. I don't know.
Maybe. We'll see.
All right, Mike, where are we at?
We are at Pittsburgh at 17.
Oh, boy.
So, it's another pick that I've kind of flipped back and forth on a couple of times. Ultimately, I've settled in on this player. This is another guy who has risen through the pre-draft process, and a lot of people seem to really like. And honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if he went a little bit higher than this. But I have Darnell Wright out of Tennessee, the big boy. The Steelers have actually done something that not a lot of people talk about for Pittsburgh, is that they've actually done a really good job addressing their offensive line over the past 2 off seasons. They've put a lot of resources into it, and it's much better than it was that last season with Big Ben. And I think they might just be one piece away from really taking it to the next level. And I think Wright, with his size, his athleticism, and his prowess in the run game, could be the guy to take it that next step.
I like that a lot. You know, that's a very solid pick. I went a little bit different direction because, gosh damn it, Mike, this team, I know they need a lot. They've really kind of gone in reverse. they've lost their quarterback, Big Ben, of course, a couple years back. First year without him last year. Kenny Pickett stepping in. They got Harris. They have pieces, but they're not necessarily all that in a bag of chips. So, Ogunjobi, monster. You have a guy by the name of Fehoko, or I always forget how to pronounce this guy's name when I hear it. I'm like, I'm going to get it this time, and I freaking screw up. Cameron Hayward is a beast, but Cameron Hayward is a little bit older now. TJ Watt, monster. I don't know. I like what they got going on over there, but keep that defense going. Realistically, I can totally see them going and getting somebody else that can be another absolute psycho. Because, screw it, defense. Mike, I don't know how you're going to agree with this one, or if you will, or I don't know. But once again, screw it, defense. That's today's motto of the show. I'm going Lucas Van Ness out of Iowa. The guy, he's already worn the Steelers uniform. The Doomch. Sorry. So, for a couple of years. So, realistically, man, this guy is add another dynamic. Screw it. Add another edge rusher. Make it even harder. Once again, make it harder. Do what everyone else is doing in that same damn division. The Browns, what are they really going to do? What are they really going to do? Now, you want to slow down the Bengals. That's who you really want to slow down because we don't know what's going on with the Ravens. Sorry, Mike. They're their own soap opera right now, but man, if you want to slow down anybody, slow down Burrow. You have something going on offense. It's very similar to me, like with Green Bay. Because Pittsburgh's a lot like Green Bay right now. Just slow everybody else down. Give you your best bet. So, I don't know. Weird kind of a pick for me, I guess, but once again, he's somebody that can help out and just be a disruptor.
Well, Adam and Kale agree with me, so that's all I'll say.
Well, there it is. All right, Mike. So, back into the chat room here. JB says, don't think Nolan lasts that long, especially with the Falcons leading defensive. Absolutely. And JB also says, the Steelers lack speed in the front seven on the defense. So, Trenton Simpson from Clemson. That's not bad either. Once again, another defensive type of guy there, or defensive guy. So, all right, Mike, we are headed to pick number 18, correct?
Yes, with the Detroit Lions.
All right.
So, Larry B., I've got a question for you, sir.
What's up?
When was the last time Detroit had an elite running back?
Oh, my gosh. Don't tell me it was Barry.
It was probably Barry.
Oh, my good. Mike,
if you look at the history of this team, there's Barry Sanders, and then there's historically a couple of guys from the 70s and 80s that get ranked very highly. But there is the history of the running back in Detroit since Barry Sanders has been abysmal. I think their highest rusher since Barry left, I think it's Kevin Jones or somebody like that.
No.
Yeah, somebody like that. It's totally random. The team also showed last year that they do not have a ton of faith in DeAndre Swift. There were a lot of games where he didn't get a ton of carries, didn't get a ton of catches. He was also injured for part of the year. I know this. He was on my fantasy football team, and it was very annoying. I know they got David Montgomery, but why not just go out and get an elite running back, give your offense that added dimension to where teams should actually be scared of you running the ball more than 15 times a game, and help out this team that is trying to catch the Vikings, as you noted, by giving them a player who could step in day one. And to me, he seems like a guy day one who can get you 1,500 total yards in a season. First season.
Mike, I like it. You're a sick man. Just kidding. I love it, Mike. I love this, man. I seriously think this freaking Lions team, Barry Sanders, Mike? Barry. Like, we're going... Mike, you and I were freaking like 4, 5, and 6-ish. 7, maybe.
We were definitely kids.
Okay. Yeah. Barry. I mean, I love it. I feel like, oh man, here in the chat room, Adam Carnick says, I almost went with Kalijah Clancy to Pittsburgh. Rumor is they want to trade up to Chicago if Carter is still there. And then Barry effing Sanders, Adam chimes in. JB, but the Lions are bad on defense. The Lions are bad everywhere, JB. So they and the Raiders are so much alike. And then, of course, Kale jumps in saying, Bijan does make sense here, but the pattern of the first round backup kept me away from that pick. So I feel Bijan ends up a Cowboy somehow. And I can see that too because of Zeke, but you have a guy there that's basically, he was the starter. He was basically getting second string pay as the starter. That's Pollard, but we'll get to that later. Anyway, then you have Kale Henderson also saying Lions should address defense in their top pick. Take BAP, yeah, good player there. And JB says Lions continue to build the defensive line. Kalijah Clancy, defensive tackle from Pittsburgh, South Florida kid. Solid player. And of course, we know Mr. JB covering all things from Miami, South Florida, man. He, of course, and yeah, Kalijah, actually, he's a freaking monster. A lot of solid players come out of South Florida. Very, very solid players. And if I'm not mistaken, he, where did he freaking play? What high school was he from? I remember, if I'm not mistaken, it was, I don't know, Miami school. Let me look it up real quick. It's Miami Northwestern. Yes, extremely solid school. So yeah, JB knows a thing or two about him, man, covering all these strong high schools and strong everything in Southern Florida, man. So, or South Florida. So yeah, with that said, Mike, I just got to go with this. I mean, I said earlier the Lions would pick up Tyree Wilson because why not? I mean, once again, because why not? But at the end of the day, I gotta go with, screw it, you got defense now. Now you kind of have to help out Goff just a little bit. This may be unpopular with the chat room. I don't know if it'll be unpopular with you, Mike, but I'm going to go with Darnell Wright. He's a monster. He's a massive, massive man. And why not? Help out Goff a little bit. You got a little love there on the defense. Now get a little something for, I mean, once again, for Detroit, it's hard to make a wrong pick because they just need so damn much. So anyway, Mike, so who's everyone else got?
So Kale Henderson has wide receiver Quentin Johnson with this pick. And then Adam Carnick has Nolan Smith.
Once again, I don't think any of those are wrong.
No. I think especially to your point, if Nolan Smith is still on the board, that would be the slam dunk.
Oh my gosh, yes. If he somehow fell there, yeah. They need him so bad. They need everything, like I said. They're the Raiders. They need everything. So, all right, Mike. Where are we headed to? Pick number 19.
Pick number 19 with Tampa. So this is a strange team to me.
Yes.
They were a playoff team last year, but they went 8-9 with Tom Brady leading the helm. Now, you go to Baker Mayfield leading the helm, which that, to me, is an automatic 2-win deduction.
Mm-hmm.
You have the rest of the division getting better this offseason. The Saints adding Derek Carr, making all the moves. The Falcons, all the moves they made. The Panthers probably getting their quarterback for the future. So you deduct maybe another division win. Now you're a 5-win team. You are not that far off from that kind of drop. It is not unthinkable. And especially since you've been strapped by the salary cap this whole offseason, so you haven't really been able to make any moves.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, this is a team that is in the very early stages of a rebuild. They are not going to be very good this year, but even so, they don't want to be because they will have a better shot at getting a quarterback in next year's draft class, which is setting up to be a very good quarterback class again, if they just don't do very well this year. So I have them addressing a position of need with a player who is okay, but he needs a little bit of development. And that is Anton Harrison, offensive tackle out of Oklahoma.
Good pick. Good pick. Good. That's a good pick.
He comes in. He would slot in. He would either slot in at left tackle or they'd move Tristan Wirfs over to left tackle from right tackle. But to me, Wirfs has been so good at right tackle, just leave him there. He comes in at left tackle. He probably plays okay, but he probably doesn't play better than Donovan Smith did last year. Let him have his rookie hiccups. Let the team still be kind of bad. But now you have an offensive tackle for the future in Harrison.
Damn it, Mike. You hit it. I like that a lot. I didn't put him here, but oh my gosh, I love it. I love the logic. I love the pick, because why not? Baker Mayfield, yeah, you're right. Absolutely right. I'm sorry. People can be like, oh, you're just a hater. I'm not. I don't know. You can just see a lot there, right? But what I do see, Mike,
I am a Baker Mayfield hater, and I feel like I'm not in the minority.
Yeah, I don't blame you. But I will tell you this right now, Mike. This team, yeah, Tristan Wirfs is a gosh damn beast. I love that guy. He is such a monster. Him and Riley Reif, I think, both set like hang clean records in like the 4s and 500s at Iowa. I mean, just amazing athletes, and it just goes to show you, you know, how good these players really are. You know, these big boys can really be. And honestly, why not? You got Baker. Protect him. I have Osiris going here because Osiris Torrance, beast. He'll stay local from Florida, same state. You know, he'll head down south a little bit. And honestly, this guy he's a good player. So honestly, just build the offensive line, continue to beef it up. Defense is decent, I guess. I don't know. It's safe to say for me, I don't have this team doing very much this year. But why not just continue to build? And, you know, they lost Ollie Marpet. You know, he retired. You know, and realistically, this team just has, I don't know, they can continue to just make the offensive line better. I just don't really know what else to say about this team, but I will say that's yeah.
They also traded Shaq Mason too, so
they did. So even crazier. So who's everyone else got, Mike?
Let's see. Cale Henderson has defensive end Miles Murphy. I like that.
Oh yeah.
And Adam Karnick has Bijan Robinson, who would have been my pick had I not had him going to Detroit one spot sooner.
Once again, a hard pick to mess up if you have that guy on the board. So, all right, Mike.
Indeed.
So we are now on to pick up. My goodness, we are pick number 20. Mike, we're doing this, man.
We are doing the thing.
Pick number 20.
Alrighty.
Who you got?
So we are back to Seattle for Seattle's second pick. The third team with 2 picks in the top 20. Do not trade your future draft picks, ladies and gentlemen. So Seattle is in a similar position to Detroit, in which they have 5 early picks. So they can afford to, and I think I said this with Seattle's first pick, they can afford to take a player who is not going to help them immediately, but could help them for the future. This is a guy who's getting a lot of traction lately. A lot of people have him in the first round. Shoot, a lot of people have him jumping players at the same position that have been rated higher for quite a while. I have Seattle here going with, I'm trying to imitate your dramatic pause. Going with Hendon Hooker, quarterback out of Tennessee.
I have the applause button for you.
This would be an ideal situation for Hooker. You go to a team that already has a quarterback who will get you through this year, that already has a backup who would get you through this year. He's coming off the ACL. He won't be ready. He would be stuck kind of on IR probably for this year. but you get your guy, and then next year you give him that shot to come out in camp and try to beat Geno Smith for that starting job. This man was tearing it up before his ACL got torn up. Apologize for the bad pun.
Seriously.
But the arm talent is there. The IQ is there. Good athlete. He would be a top 10 pick if he was not hurt.
Agreed. No, you hit it on the head. And how ideal would that really be? I hope that works out for that young man. That would be amazing. We have the chat room here going. And Jefferson, Mr. JB says here, they tank for a quarterback next year, meaning the Bucks go O-line, Broderick Jones out of Georgia. Okay. Adam says, I put by John here, based on the quarterback situation, I think the Bucks will be running a lot. And then Kale says, Baker sucks. So there you go. Davidson still here, says, Hooker is a day 3 selection for me coming off ACL injury. And that's a tough one, but I mean, my goodness, how amazing would that be to have him so high, right? So
now keep in mind, I did not have him in the first round until rumors started coming out with multiple executives saying, oh, he's not going to last past pick X. He's not going to last past pick Y. I understand that some of that is blubber, especially this time of year. But when you start getting different sources and different news outlets all saying the same thing, I think it starts to become a little bit of gospel.
I agree. And that's tough, man. But I agree. That'd be a great place for him to go. And just what a wow. I didn't even think about all that. That's pretty awesome, man. So, all right, Mike. So, pick number 20, Seattle Seahawks. This is hard because if it goes my way, like I said earlier, if it goes the way I said it, they'll take Anthony Richardson, they'll pass on Levis, and they'll have somebody there now to go head-to-head with Geno Smith, and he may or may not start over him. Okay. Now, in Larry's world, we have here, you got your quarterback already. The defense, they're all right, but once again, do your best with them. Free agency is what it is. Do what you got to do. But you already got somebody there on the offense, on that side. You already got somebody that can help out. It's going to be one of these two guys. Okay, somebody's going to win that starting position. Now, the harder part about this is you got two guys, Metcalf and Lockett, solid. The offensive line, they need help, but what do you do? Defensively, like I said, they still need a lot of help, but screw it. You get a guy that can run the ball back there. Why not? Why not? If you're going to go all in and just try to change things up and get crazy, Pete Carroll, then screw it. You went and got Anthony Richardson, let him fight with Geno for the spot. One's going to push the other. Something's going to happen. Why not go get somebody else? Why not go get another guy that can help us out? I have Bijan going here, Robinson, from Texas. Why not? They don't have, the running backs aren't that, explosive. At least I don't see. So why not add another guy back there? Now you got two young guys back there in the backfield. Screw it. See what they can do. See what they're made of. See what this offensive line, how they respond. See how it all works out. Because realistically, the Seahawks, once again, they need a lot going on. But you can start with these two young guys here. Hey, Smith, that might be it. Who knows? But then again, it might spark him. But this youngster right here, he's showed promise at Texas. My gosh, why not? Why not give him a shot? So, I don't know. That's just my thoughts on that. Kind of a different situation, I guess, or, however. But chat room says here, Seattle, JB says, Seattle is tough. Yes, tough gauge to this pick. Yep. He says, Seattle goes O-line with their second first round Joe Tipperman out of Wisconsin. Not a bad pick.
Okay,
He's actually
all right.
Pretty big boy. So, I like that. That's actually pretty good there. So, all right, Mike. So, who's everyone else got?
So, Cale Henderson has Deontay Banks going here.
Good player.
And Adam Karnick has Brian Breesy out of Clemson.
You know what? That's, once again, it's hard for Seattle to screw this up. It really is, man. So, alrighty. Pick number 21. Where we at, Mike?
All right, now we have moved to the Chargers. Shout out to Taryn Rodriguez, the host of the SoCal Supreme Sports Show. So, I have been a big fan of what the Chargers have been doing on the offensive line the past few drafts. They have added lots of young talent there. It is a growing, developing, improving unit, and I think they could take another step, a massive step, literally a massive step, to get the offensive line to be great.
Yes.
And that would be with the acquisition of Osiris Torrance, the big man out of Florida. This guy's just a beast.
He
is a monster. He is 6'5", 335. Moves way too fast for somebody that size, Larry.
Yeah.
Way too fast. Way too good of an athlete. He's powerful. He's good in the pass blocking game. If you want to protect your quarterback, put the guy there that nobody can move.
Basically. I like it. I think that's a great spot, man. Why not? You have Herbert. You have a really good team already. Build around this, man. That's actually a very, very good pick up there, man. And it's hard because I already have a lot of these big monsters taken off the board already. And I feel like the offensive line, they got them where they did last year. I think they're pretty damn good already. But you add another depth to that. That is pretty good. Now, I'm going to go a little bit different direction here. Joe, know how you feel about this here, Mike. Go a little bit different direction. Okay, so I have all these guys. Like I said, Osiris Torrance, off. I have, let's see, who else did we already have off the board here? I got, of course, Paris Johnson, Broderick Jones, all these big monsters that can make immediate impact on offensive lines. I have them already off the board. So, let's go ahead and move to the next best thing, I think, for these Chargers. Now, a little weird here, but why not? I don't know what's going on with the Austin Eckler thing. I don't know if you heard anything about that, Mike, but maybe he's staying.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but he stays. Cool. Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, okay? Palmer, not too bad. Okay, now you got Gerald Everett, which is pretty crazy, out of USC. Oh, sorry, South Alabama, I'm sorry. A couple years back. I mean, you got some pretty good, strong targets here. If the offensive line is going to continue to be strong as they are, and there's nobody left, at least in my draft, well, why not just go get yet another weapon? I have, at this point in time, with everybody taken off the board, Quentin Johnson out of TCU. He's not this gigantically huge playmaker. I mean, he's a big guy. But I'm just saying, he's not coming out with Heisman numbers and crap. But TCU did make it to the national championship. This guy was a very, very, very big piece of that run. Once again, if the offensive line is all off the board, why not just go with yet another weapon for Herbert? I mean, this just makes so much sense. He's a very, very, very good receiver. I mean, it could totally happen. So JB says they help the overrated Herbert with Jordan Addison at wide receiver. I could also see Addison go there as well. And JB, I don't know where you're getting overrated from, brother, because this guy is as advertised. And I'm a Raider fan, and I hate the Chargers with everything in me. So it takes a lot for me to say that, trust me. And I also am a USC fan, and I hate Oregon, which makes it a double whammy for Herbert, but I will overlook both of those because Herbert's pretty damn good, and he's proven it. So it is what it is, man. So yeah, once again, in my draft, if everyone's off the board already, that's what I have the Chargers taking. How about everybody else there, Mike?
So Adam Karnick has has Anton Harrison, offensive tackle, and Cale Henderson has Joey Porter Jr.
Well, once again, I think both you and I are hoping he goes to the Commanders, but not a bad pick there for them. So okay, next up, pick number 22. Who is this? Oh, this is the other team in the DMV.
The other DMV team, right? So the Ravens have had a terrible offseason. Let's just call it what it is, Larry.
Yeah.
It's been bad. nobody knows if Lamar Jackson's actually going to play for the team next year.
Mm-hmm.
They've lost a whole bunch of talent. They traded away Chuck Clark in one of the worst trades I've ever seen the Ravens make.
Ever.
It's been bad. But there's a little bit of hope in the fact that the team did go out and get Odell Beckham Jr.
Yes.
Along with Nelson Aguilar. So they helped the wide receiving core a little bit. They do still have a very good defense. But on the defensive side, there's a little bit of a hole at that cornerback spot opposite of Marlon Humphrey. And there's a player who you already have off the board, who Kale already has off the board, who Adam Karnick already has off the board, who just slid just a little. And he happens to be not quite within walking distance, but about a 25-minute drive down the road. And that player is Deontay Banks.
Oh, yes.
Cornerback from University of Maryland. If there is a player not among the top 3, because I think everybody's pretty much in agreement that Joey Porter Jr., Christian Gonzalez, and Devin Witherspoon are going to be off of the board by the time the Ravens pick at 22. If there's a corner not in those top 3 who's going to be able to take the spot opposite of Marlon Humphrey, which is a difficult spot when you're the number 2 corner and the number 1 is that good, it's going to be Banks.
That's a hell of a pick. Honestly, if he's still there, that's pretty big. Pretty dang big there. I don't know, man. I mean, if he ends up heading to Baltimore, once again, screw it, defense. We all know how they draft. We all know what that team likes. You know what? It's not going to hurt anything, and I think that's great. Honestly, I wouldn't mind. I would have him there as well. I really would have him there as well because, once again, as we like to say, screw it, defense, and that's pretty much where they are now. And I'm right there with you. I'm going to go defense as well. Baltimore, because he's still on my board. This guy right here, well, let's just call it what it is. Miles Murphy out of Clemson, I think, is probably, we talked about him already. Absolute psycho. And I think he's going to be every bit as advertised like he was at Clemson. And why not? Just add another scary piece to that defense and let them do what they do. Even JB says it here. Ravens love to pressure the quarterback, Miles Murphy, out of Clemson. Yes, I'm right there with it. And, JB says just a jab at Rodriguez, Taryn, talking about the overrated Herbert. I love that. So anyway, with that said, man, I like that a lot. I feel like Banks, Murphy, whoever it can be, man, this team pick defense. Why not? And I feel like you can't go wrong with either of those picks. Who's everyone else got, Mike?
So Adam Karnick agrees with you. He's got Miles Murphy going here, and then then Kale has another edge player. He's got Will McDonald out of Iowa State going here.
I like Will McDonald. I like him a lot. So, alrighty, good stuff there, gentlemen. I like it. All right, Mike, where are we headed to? Pick 20. Oh my gosh, we're already at 23. We're moving today.
We are moving. So 23, the Minnesota Vikings, they feel like a team that every year feels like they need a cornerback. Like, it's just amazing that every year you think, oh, Minnesota, corner, easy. Like, I thought the same thing last year. And then they traded a bunch of times.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. Excuse me. That's where I'm at this year again. And the pick here for me is Emmanuel Forbes out of Mississippi State. Don't love the size. He's only 166 pounds. So to me, that's very narrow. He's going to have to add some weight. But the skill is there, dude. He was awesome in Mississippi.
And that's absolutely incredible. I love that. That's a solid player. And, I think it's hilarious how you said that. They always need a freaking corner, which is pretty funny. This, to me, now, I thought about what you said earlier, and I switched some things around, Mike. I really did. I switched some things around. Because you talked about Hooker. ACL injury. Could come back, though, and could be extremely solid after he heals up.
Uh-oh.
Mike, this might be another one. I don't know. This might be another good situation for this guy. Kirk Cousins is... You like that? I'm sorry, Mike. He was a commander when he did that. I'm sorry, but... Look, man, he's the guy for now. But even as good as he seems to be getting at the moment, heating up wise, he's doing pretty good. But I don't know. I don't know how long he's going to be their guy. Give him a few seasons and they're going to get tired of him, or they might win a freaking bowl. I don't know what's going to happen, okay, with him. But what I do know is I think he's on the older age, the older age spectrum, that is. And honestly, Mike, he's going to be their guy for a little bit. But that's perfect because this gives Hooker time to heal up and to become that next guy with a slow transition. Another good position for him to be in. I'm going to go Hendon Hooker to Minnesota to sit behind Kirk Cousins for a little bit, heal up, perfect his craft as a quarterback, learn, have lots of time to heal, no rush. Malcolm Smith for the Cowboys was that guy years ago. And honestly, look how well he's worked out. So, JB in the chat room says, Vikings only have 2 solid receivers, Josh Downs, wide receiver out of UNC. Good pick up there. I could see them going with the right now pick. But right now,
there are a couple of wide receivers that I would like to the Vikings here as well.
Oh yeah, and we can all see that. Seriously, Mike. Yeah. I mean, the Vikings were a few players away last year from being like a serious Super Bowl contender. This team was insane. But once again, I don't know. I mean, what are they doing in free agency? We'll see. But what I see right now is this team actually is pretty good. Give these guys another run. They have another year of experience under their belt. Give them another run. Get this guy right here that could sit behind and really be their future. You have a strong team right now. If you want this team to keep on doing their thing, when Kirk Cousins is gone, who the hell are you going to run to? So why not have a guy that's like he's in your farm system kind of? Season him up. Make him be, so I don't know. I think this is pretty solid right here. It makes a lot of sense. I don't know if it does or not, but that's how we are. That's where we landed, Mike. So that's where I landed at least. So, so how about
you and
else?
Adam Karnick both landed there, sir. So the only thing about the Vikings pick here, and I'll say the same. I'll say the same thing for Baltimore. Neither of these teams have a second-round pick.
That's hard.
So 22 with Baltimore, 23 with Minnesota. Both look like prime potential options for teams in the late first or the early second. If they're looking to jump up and grab somebody, these are going to be the spots that it's going to happen.
That's actually, yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. That's a situation. That really is a situation on its own, isn't it? Okay, let's take a look here. And where are we, Mike? We are now at pick 24.
Yes, pick number 24, the Jaguars. So I have a guy, and in all honesty, this guy's probably going to go earlier than this, but just the way my board worked out, he just kind of got pushed on down the line a little bit. I have Luke Van Ness out of Iowa going here to the Jaguars. Look, I know they drafted Trayvon Walker last year early, but they don't have amazing depth at their edge rusher and defensive line spots. So why not get a guy, a freak athlete? You can move him around a lot. And the athleticism they could have on the field for rushing the passer if they had Van Ness, the edge rusher version, Josh Allen, not the Buffalo version, and Trayvon Walker, that level of speed is going to be a problem in a division that is looking like you're probably going to have a minimum, an absolute minimum of one rookie quarterback starting the majority of the season, likely two, and maybe even three. And what's the best way to rattle a rookie quarterback is you hit him.
Yep. I love it. No, why not? That's a very good pick there, Mike. Honestly, the Jaguars, they're another one of those teams, man. It's hard. Even though they were actually pretty damn good, they're on the up and up right now, and I just feel like they still need a lot of pieces, though. This is kind of weird. They still, for a team that's actually pretty good, it's funny. I'm like, they still need help. So this is where, and I don't know, maybe this is just me showing love, maybe a little too much love, I don't know. But this is where some people didn't have him in their first rounds, and I'm okay with that. And, call me stupid if you want to, everybody, that's fine. But I have to show a little love to this guy because he was such a good player at USC. Okay. I really liked him a lot, and I think he's going to go somewhere. If he goes here, he's just another good target. Absolutely. Actually, he's a very, very good target, at least I would think. And a player at the caliber of Trevor Lawrence will seek out receivers now. He's the kind of guy to where I feel like he can make receivers. Just do what I do. Follow my lead. And I love that. This is where I have Jordan Addison falling to. Now, this just might be me just being a USC fan, being biased. But screw it. You know what? Their defense was actually pretty okay last year. Let them continue to do that thing. Let them figure it out. Offensively, they got Ridley. They got Jones. They have some players, but why not add a freaking another one, man? And a guy like Jordan Addison is an absolute beast. So realistically, why not just add another target for this guy? So in the chat room here, actually, Cale Henderson says, I can't believe I saw overrated and Herbert in the same sentence. Leads to question any other statement are made. LOL. Good. So JB also says, here's where Deontay Banks lands. So I could also see that as well there to the Jaguars. So I don't know. Maybe that's just me being a fan. And JB says they have a ton of receivers. They do. But they don't have Addison. They don't have Addison. So I don't know. This is a little down now. It is what it is. We'll see. But anyway, Mike, how's everybody else got?
So Adam Karnick has Broderick Jones here, offensive tackle. And Kale has Brian Branch, safety out of Alabama.
Solid pickups there for this team. Once again, it's hard to screw up the Jaguars right now. They can just... They're weird. I'm telling you, they're a team that is actually pretty good that still needs a lot of work. I don't know, it's weird. But anyway, who you got next up? We got pick number 25, Mike.
Yes, the New York Giants. So I have a little bit of haterade going on for this wide receiving class right now. I don't know, those of you keeping track at home, I only have one off of the board. But I think because of that, if that happens, they're going to start to go rapid fire. So I have Quentin Johnson going here. For all of the Giants' additions at receiver they've made over the past couple of years, they lack height. Johnson is 6'3.5", so he'll bring the longer arms and the better reach. Plus, I mean, they just can't seem to get it exactly right. So why not take a shot at a guy with some really good upside and really good playmaking ability?
That is awesome. One more time, sorry about that. Mike, I had to step away for just a few seconds there. Who was it again?
Quentin Johnson out of TCU.
Oh, Quentin. Now, once again, a solid athlete there. I think he'll go to the Chargers and do great if he were to land there. But yes, another playmaker. I don't know what's going on. I mean, they lost Saquon Barkley, right? I mean, he's gone. Is he? Like, is he officially gone?
He's not gone, but he didn't sign his franchise tag.
Oh, that's some worry right there, because I don't know. What are they going to do? You know, I mean, do you draft like as if he's coming back? Or do you draft maybe to, I don't know, maybe help somebody fill in there? I don't know. I mean, I've seen a lot of mock drafts. I've seen the Giants take everything from a linebacker to offensive line to receivers. I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. They've taken I've seen a lot of different ones. But realistically, you got a guy by the name of Daniel Jones there. He seems to be working out pretty well. They weren't bad last year, man. They really weren't. They still need a lot of work, like the Jaguars. But keep this short and sweet. Keep them protected. I like Steve Avila out of TCU. Yeah, honestly, this is, I don't know, Mike. This is I guess is a boring pick for me. Some people may say, but honestly, dude, you just protect him. You know, continue to build a wall around this guy. Avila's really, really, really good. He's stout. Let's see. This is Giants fans hoping that Barkley comes back. They have a lot of pieces. I don't know. I just feel like if he stays, then you just want to keep building the offensive line. Maybe, I don't know, but I just kind of want something safe and easy for the Giants. So I guess you can go different ways. So who's everyone else got, Mike?
So Adam Karnick also has Quentin Johnson here, and Cale Henderson has wide receiver Zay Flowers.
I like them all. Once again, hard to screw up the Giants, man. So in the chat room here, JB says they have 10 receivers. Yeah, so the Giants select Jalen Hyatt, wide receiver out of Tennessee. You know what? I like him too. He is a very good player as well. Some people have him being like a tweener, first round, second round, depending, you know. But I don't know. That could be a good pickup as well. So, all right, pick number 26. Who you got, Mike?
All right, so now we're on to Dallas. I've also been hating on the tight end spot. I have all of the tight ends still on the board, which I realize is probably wrong, but at the same time, that's just the way my board worked out. So I have the Cowboys going with Michael Mayer out of Notre Dame. Very solid, well-rounded tight end. Not the craziest of athletes, but he reminds me a little bit of Jason Witten.
Yes.
Who was a longtime great Cowboys tight end, a guy who could block and make plays in the passing game. He's going to be a really good tight end for a really long time. The Cowboys lost Dalton Schultz, so they need somebody who can replace him, and I think this is the route they go.
That's actually really good. Man, that's you know, I didn't think about that. Dallas tight end, yes. They've had, what happened to Schultz? Is he still there?
No, he's in Houston now.
He's in Houston. Okay, yeah. See, I missed that one, but good pickup there. I feel like that's a very good pickup for Dallas. Kind of funny. I got them also picking a tight end. I'm gonna go with Dalton Kincaid, man. Really good player here out of Utah. I watched him destroy USC a time or two. So, you know, I mean, he's a pretty solid player. And you know what? Why not? It's true. They do need a tight end. I was going to say to compliment Schultz, but yeah, I guess, my bad. I somehow got out of the loop on that one. But good player, and I can totally see that. JB also says here in the chat room, he has the Cowboys selecting Dalton Kincaid out of Utah, so it just makes sense. Why not? Just get another piece there, another offensive guy. I like it. How about everybody else, Mike?
So Adam Karnick has Kalijah Cansey going here, and Cale Henderson has Bijan Robinson still on the board.
Hey, all right then. Good stuff there. A more than a time or two against USC. Yeah, I know, JB. Don't rub it in. So, all right. So, Buffalo next on the board. Correct, Mike?
Yes, that is correct. So, Buffalo could go any number of directions here. They don't have any one need that I look at the roster and go, oh my God, they need to address this. So, they could go different directions based on how the board drops. And I think with the way the receivers have stayed on the board, I think that is the direction they go. And I have them going with Jordan Addison, one of your boys.
Yeah!
With this pick. They need a consistent guy to go opposite of Stephon Diggs. And, screw it. If you score more points than the other team every week, I mean, you're going to win. So, yeah. Who was it? It was Booger McFarland on Monday Night Football very famously said, in order to win the football game, you have to score more points than the other team.
No way. Are you sure about that one, Mike? You sure?
I'm pretty sure.
That's all right, man. What is scoring more points than the other team? That's my final answer. Oh my gosh, that's all right. Well, there it is, I guess. So, well, I'll tell you right now, I like it. I think that's a great job there, Mike. And honestly, that's a very, very solid pick for these guys. You're right. They can go a number of directions. There's a guy a couple years ago by the name of Ed Oliver. I loved him.
Ooh, that was a good pick.
Oh, man, he was a monster out of Houston. They have a guy by the name of Von Miller, which, could or could not be. I don't know what's going on, injuries and everything. Daquan Jones, Russo, they got some pretty solid guys. You know what? That team is so freaking potent. Why not just make that defensive line a lot like the Commanders and just go and destroy everybody else's quarterback? I love it. This is where I'm
Screw it.
Defense. That's right. Kalijah Kancey. I'm going to go with him here from Pitts because why not? Screw it. You already have a stacked freaking team. Go with it. Let him do his thing. Let this defensive line get even nastier. And why not? You got everybody else. Oh my gosh, you have a really good team already. So just go after the quarterback. Absolutely destroy everybody. Leave there no question that the Buffalo Bills showed up and jacked you up. I mean, I don't know. This is big. Let's see here. JB says, Buffalo, hope they screw it up. He says they select Jay Flowers out of BC. We can see that. But yeah, he's of course a Dolphins fan. This is a very, very, very good pick here. Even if it's not filled with happiness from JB, because once again, another good receiver. Why not? It's the Buffalo Bills can pretty much do what they want to. So how about everybody else there, Mike? Oh,
there we go. Had to unmute myself.
Oh, there you go. You're good.
Yep. So Adam Karnick has Zay Flowers going here.
Good pick.
And Kale has Anton Harrison.
Good pick. I like it.
Yeah.
Pick number 28. Where are we at?
All right. So we're going to Cincinnati.
Oh.
One of my favorite teams, as you know. So Cincinnati lost tight end Hayden Hurst in free agency. And I still have this player on my board. If there's one guy who I am going to openly admit that he's way too low on my mock draft, it is Dalton Kincaid.
Oh, yes.
That's just where I have him going. Can you imagine a 4-wide set with Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd,
oh, man,
T. Higgins, and Dalton Kincaid? I don't know a single defense in the league that could stop that for the entire game.
That is nice. That's actually very nice. I like that. That's a really good pick right there, Mike. I like that. I'm a little jealous I didn't think of that. Pretty good, man. I like that pick up there. Cincinnati, once again, they have their needs too. I'm going to go a little different just because, I don't know, I felt like last year they needed a few more breaths on defense. And you know what? There's a guy that's a hard-hitting freaking safety out of Alabama. I'm going to go Brian Branch because the guy can hit. The guy he's a threat anywhere on the field. I know they already have a pretty strong defense, but as I always say, in the AFC North, you got to play defense on offense to win.
Pretty much.
Yeah, you got to be bang-bang in that division. And you know what? Why not? He's a hard hitter. The guy has lots of promise, I feel. And why not add another dimension? If the Ravens and the Steelers and the Browns, which, the Browns, but the other two teams, if they're just going to keep adding strong to those defenses, then why not? Why not this team too? So I feel like why not? This is going to be a good pickup for these guys, and it's a strong defense they're building there. So JB says the Dolphins with their secondary could stop it, but I'm going Michael Mayer from Notre Dame. Okay, well there we go. So all right, who's everyone else got, Mike?
Sorry, I was on mute again. All right. So, New Orleans at 29, a guy who everybody else has gone already. I have Kalijah Campbell going here. Beast, interior player, little undersized, but hey, so is Aaron Donald. So, there's that. But no, I think instant impact guy who can really help that defensive front.
Good pickup here, Mike. I like that for these guys. Solid team right now with the Saints, man. Okay, so they went and got Derek Carr. I'm not mad at the Saints. I'm not mad at the Saints. I feel like they're doing what they got to do, and I feel like whatever people may have thought of Derek Carr, he's going to go over there and show them that he actually is an NFL quarterback. So sorry they ended up with a team that doesn't know what the hell they're doing, a.k.a. my Raiders. And I am really excited for him over there. So why not get a guy who hits quarterbacks? You got a guy that can spark that whole offense. Why not go after a dude, Maisie Smith, that I really liked a lot coming out of Michigan? He's a freaking big dude. He can make it happen. I like he stays low. He's got lots and lots of leverage, long arms. He's a solid player, man. I like him a lot, and I really think that they would benefit from picking this guy up. They can go different ways as well, defensively, but I don't know. I like him there. They need more on that defensive line, and this could be a good pickup. So, who's everyone else got, Mike?
So Cale Henderson actually agrees with you.
Oh, hey.
He has Maisie Smith here too, and Adam Karnick has Jordan Addison going here.
Once again, good landing spot for him for either of those guys. Good stuff there. So in the chat room, JB says have O-line for the Saints. Cody Mock. Oh yeah, from North Dakota State. Very, very, very good player. I don't know if I pronounced his name right, but he's very strong player out of the FCS there. He'd be a very, very high FCS player coming out. So yeah, that's pretty dang good. So all right. So let's take a look here. Where are we at next, Mike? Pick number 30 already?
Yep, we are there.
Oh my gosh.
We have made it to Philadelphia again. So if I'm the Eagles and this guy's still on the board, I'm running this pickup because he fills a need for the team. He's a versatile player. He's a player you've already talked about. I am going with Brian Branch here to the Eagles. Fills a big need with a really good player. People are concerned about his 40 time. Whatever. Don't care. The guy can play. Adam Karnick agrees with me too, so that's how I know that I'm in a good way.
I love that. No, that is a great pickup. I talk about him right now. The guy he makes a lot of things happen. And you know what? I love what he's got going on. He's a strong athlete. And totally good pickup there for Philly. Add more strength to that team. JB says Eagles are stacked. Best available, Noah Sewell. Oh yeah, out of Oregon, linebacker. Very good player there. I'm going to go with Philly taking DeJuan Jones because, once again, he's not like he's 6'8" or anything. He is freakishly big. How big is this guy? Let me take a look. DeJuan Jones out of Ohio State is 6'8". 6'8", 374 pounds. Good luck moving that guy. That is awesome. Well, he's a big monster. And I like it. Continue to build it. Once again, 2 offensive linemen for an already strong offensive line. You know what? I don't even care. Paris Johnson and him going to the Eagles. I mean, now this team could actually make I don't know. I think they can make it happen. They were already at the bowl last year. I mean, I'm just saying, add more beef. These guys are strong. This is a very good football team. They have so much already, and yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just being crazy going too much offensive line here, but why not? So all right, Mike. How about everybody else?
So we have Kale went with Osiris Torrance, so another offensive lineman, and Adam agreed with me on Brian Branch.
Good player, and I like those a lot. So, all right, Mike. So I looked this year, and I must be going crazy because when I was looking at mock drafts this week, and I don't know where this happened, but for some crazy reason, there's only 31 picks. Did they remove that 32nd pick?
So Miami lost their first-round pick due to
right.
Tampering violation.
That's right. I'm stupid. How could I forget about all that? Because I was in draft mode this whole week, and I'm stupid. So I was like, did they seriously, like, make it hard now for everybody? Like, if you win the Super Bowl, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I mean, because Kansas City got it, and they won it. So I was like, how do they take it? So that's right. There is no 32nd pick this year.
Yep. Although we could just make the argument that they kicked the Dolphins out of the league.
JB says they stole it from my Dolphins. Oh no, he's mad. He says Jones is Dolphins right tackle. I'm out in my prayers to the football gods. Well, there it is. But alrighty, well, I guess pick number 31 is our final for this year, Mike.
It is indeed the Kansas City Chiefs. So this is a guy who a lot of people like. I honestly don't know a ton about him, but he's a popular pick. Everybody's got him in the first round, so I snuck him in here. Zay Flowers out of Boston College. The Chiefs still looking for some wide receiver help, and he on paper has a lot of great tools to work with, and I think he will help the Chiefs offense that clearly has lots of problems scoring points.
Great player. And yeah, I completely agree with you there, Mike. I just got them because the Chiefs can really do what they want to. I have a guy by the name of Keanu Benton. He is an absolute beast coming out of Wisconsin. He is a monster. And you know what? Add more. Frank Clark, I know, heck of an athlete, but, once again, these guys are, getting up there. And saying this is more depth and eventual starters for Kansas City. So, JB says, Tank Dwell, wide receiver from Houston, another good pick there. So, all right, Mike, so who's everybody else got?
So, we got Cale Henderson going with Jordan Addison here. Oh. And Adam Karnick has Will McDonald.
Another good player. I'll tell you right now, not putting Will McDonald in the first round for me was kind of hard. I wanted him to go somewhere. I think he still, of course he can. Does. I guess our mock drafts. But at the end of the day, man, this is a very, very, very good team. Kansas City can just do what they want. We know that. You know that. I know that. But anyway, so Mike, there it is, man. Can you believe this is the first time you and I have actually finished the entire first round with 22 minutes to spare.
I'm in disbelief, Larry.
Right? My goodness. Let me hit the applause button, man. That's... Yes. Wow. I'm pretty happy we did that, because usually sometimes we have to go hyper speed and finish at the very end, like, super duper fast, especially, but today I think just, we didn't have a lot, it was just you and me today, we didn't have anybody else, and then of course, we kind of just, I feel like we flew pretty well with the picks.
Yeah, and it did help being one less pick. That also helped a little. Yeah,
because, hey, that would have been an extra few minutes, I guess. But I'll tell you right now, Mike, that was a lot of fun. And JB also says here, have the Dolphins selecting Darnell Washington, tight end out from Georgia. Okay, so wait. So where are the Miami Dolphins then in the second round?
So the Miami Dolphins, I'm trying to remember the exact pick. I want to say they're at 53.
I mean, that's my number. That's a great number.
They're
I
either
like that.
52 or 53.
I'll tell you. We'll see. Man, this has been a fun one. There has been so many great players named today, and well, who will we have? So, yeah, Adam says next year will be epic. 2 picks in the first round for my Bears. Oh my gosh. Adam is so excited. Let's see what these guys got next year, and let's see who everyone has next year, of course. Mike, my goodness, this is always a great show. Before we're out of here, man, anything extra to add for this show? Any thoughts, comments, anything you want to add? Any surprises? Who was your biggest surprise? Maybe some of us picked. I mean, at certain numbers, I don't know. But what are you thinking, man?
Well, one of the trends that I've noticed with the draft is there will be a guy who goes in the later part of the draft, somewhere in the 20s, maybe even 30s, that nobody is expecting. And I think Jefferson, right? It was Jefferson who was in the chat?
Yeah, JB, yep.
I think JB alluded to a couple of guys, Jalen Hyatt being one of them, and that would be my guess off the top of my head, as a guy who a lot of people have late second, early to mid third, who could surprise a lot of people and go in that late first round.
It happens, and I love it. I love it, man. You always got to have faith in those who, other people don't. So that is awesome, man. It says here, JV says, Mike seems to dislike the Dolphins.
I have no problem with the Dolphins, sir. Thank you very much.
I'll tell you right now, this year, another special year, who will we have? Who will it be? I love this circle we got going on, because every year, this year, unfortunately, we didn't get to our Combine show, kind of bummed out, didn't add a lot of that. Just it's been a very hard, last 2 years for me, guys, getting through this stupid credential program, getting ready to take my state testing and everything, getting ready to finish my credential and land that full-timer, all this crap. It's just been a lot. It's been hard to keep up the station, been hard to do a lot of things with the station. And JB says, then we are good, Mike. But I love it. Every year, Super Bowl ends, we have our big Super Bowl blowout show, all that fun stuff. We have our recap show. We take a few weeks off. We do our Combine show, which we didn't do this year. Then we come do our draft show. It's always so much fun doing this show. Then we have our post-draft show, of course, after the draft. We let it rest all through the summer. This year, I was supposed to have 3 and Out running for both the XFL and the USFL. Well, my busyness changed that, unfortunately. And now it's just basically going to ride on into this summer. But, it's all right. July is going to come around. We're going to get into OTAs, get into the preseason. The next time you will see 3 and Out is going to be 8 divisions in 8 days. Just so that you guys know, this will be, I'll talk a little bit of, I'll probably have a special XFL Championship and USFL Championship edition. But the next time we're back talking NFL, completely, I'm just letting you guys know right now, I believe we'll be, let's see here. So, July 17th, mark your calendars, you guys, will be the start of 8 divisions in 8 days. We will have, of course, last year the AFC won it, and the Chiefs, therefore, we'll be starting out with the AFC West. Goody, you talk about my Raiders early. But July 17th will be the AFC West. Okay, big 3-hour show. We always have some, diehards on here talking about their teams, how they're going to do this year, how they did in the draft, all that good stuff, free agency, all that good stuff. Then, of course, we will head on into the very next day, Tuesday, the 18th, July 18th. That will be the AFC East. So that's a fun day. Continuing on to the 19th will be the AFC, AFC South. And then we'll finish off with the AFC North on July 20th. That's Tuesday through Thursday. The following week, we will go on the 24th. We'll start off with the West to mirror the AFC West. So on the 24th of July, we'll have the NFC West. On the 25th of July, on Tuesday, we will have the NFC East. On the 26th, we'll have the NFC South, and we'll finish it off with the 8 division 8 days. We'll finish that off with the NFC North on the 27th. Okay, those days are fun. The OTAs are going through that time. We're getting ready to go into the preseason, all that fun stuff. Hall of Fame game, if I'm not mistaken, is probably going to be August 3rd. But lots and lots of great stuff coming up, guys. And those will be the days we talk. So JB already says, I'm going to be early. The Finns win the AFC East. Book it. All right, well, let's see. Let's see if you want to come and talk about them, man. Your day is officially July 18th. So, of course, we'll pre-record those interviews if you need to, so we can play them on the show for that week, over the weekend. I'm okay with pre-recording, but it's just a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun talking to all those diehards. Mike, your day, of course, with your Commanders, like I said already, that's going to be that's NFC East Day is on the 25th, Tuesday, July 25th. So we'll probably have to pre-record, but that's fine. Talk about your Commanders and all that good stuff, man. So there it is. There is a schedule coming up this year. Then, of course, Taryn and I talk all about everything college, high school, and college football throughout the year, from August all the way into January. Then we have one more for the Senior Bowl, and it's over. Then 3 and Out runs all the way from August to February, and there we go. We loop it again. So every single year we love doing it. This is the one show that's kind of like the spaced out from all the others, usually with the Combine show that we have. But like I said, didn't do that one this year. But we really, really appreciate you guys. It's been a lot of fun. My apologies for all the absences and everything, like I said. But let me just get all the career stuff finished up this year, and we'll be completely back to normal coming up. But with that said, Mike, anything else you want to add, man? Just not even for the draft or for anything like that, maybe for the season coming up, or just maybe your show coming up, or any of that good stuff, man. What do you want to add for today's ending of the show?
So I am going to take a minute to address a trend I've noticed on social media. If one more person, I swear, if one more person says the Giants are definitively better than the Commanders, I am going to throw a box out a window. I don't know. You can make the argument for the Cowboys, sure. I'll give you the Eagles. They just won the Super Bowl. But I am tired of this trend that has the Giants being significantly better than the Commanders. They are not. And that, if there is a football hill that I'm willing to die on, there are two. I've got 2 football hills I'm willing to die on. 1, Giants are not that much better than the Commanders. That's number 1. Number 2, and this one's a little bit more controversial. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Brett Favre was not that amazing of a quarterback. The only reason he has the records he has is because of his longevity. That's all I'm going to say.
Give it to him, Mike. Well, I'll tell you right now, we have every single year. It's always great. This year, just Mike and I, and it was still awesome. We had a great one. It was fun, and I'll tell you right now, this has been a great one. Mike, we're finishing up with just about a little bit of 10 minutes to spare. Super excited about all of our picks. Let's see how they all pan out next week, you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. And, well, I think with that said, there's nothing left to do at this point in time but to cue the music, because we're on out of here. Alrighty, y'all. That is going to do it for today's show. My goodness, we almost ran the distance. Like I said, we have a record, though. 2 hours and 40 minutes, or actually 22 minutes. We were on the countdown. So 2 hours and about 18 minutes. We did our draft. It was awesome. Oh my gosh, that was fun. JB says go Heat. He says I agree with Mike. Talking about that, I think talking about the Commanders and the Giants. So man, just great stuff. Mike, thank you so much for being here today, man. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me, sir.
As always.
Pushed on through the cold.
Every time, brother. We appreciate you, man. And yeah, Mike, of course, coming off of a cold, man. And just thank you for even being here today. It was a lot, I know. But, oh my gosh, it's always a fun show to do. Hopefully all of you enjoyed that. Make sure to follow IE Sports Radio as a whole, all throughout social media at iSports Radio. Check us out wherever you get your podcast. We're there. And show us some love. And also, check us out on the website, iSportsRadio.com. I got to update that thing. As you can see, life is just, throwing its knives at me, and I'm trying my best to dodge them. So I will get everything updated soon, hopefully. And, well, let's keep the good times rolling, y'all. So, with that said, that is going to do it. My goodness, what a great show that was. Thank you to everybody in the chat room, by the way, today. Mr. JB saying, great show. Thank you, sir. Adam Karnick, also in the house today. We had Mr. Cale Henderson popping in, Davidson Crooks, just everybody, y'all, that popped in today. Our chat room was bumping. We had so many comments today. We really appreciate you all for being here, and thank you all so very much for showing us some love. My goodness, another one in the books. And tonight, Mr. Mike Patt is going to do another show. So, Mike Patt coming back actually tonight with Let's Wind About Sports. Well, Let's Wind About DMV Sports. Of course, we have Mr. coming on up with Palm Tree Sports. By the way, Corey Pools coming up later on today. 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and then, of course, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, finish off your weekend or your Saturday with Let's Wind About DMV Sports with Mr. Mike Patt. For Mike Patt, show him some love, give him a follow at Let's Wine. Of course, on, let's take a look at it. It is at Let's Wine _IESR. You can follow this show at 3 and Out, all spelled out IESR. Follow me, your boy Larry B at THEE _LB53. Thank you very much, Kale. Appreciate you, brother. And hey, we appreciate you all. Thank you all so very much. We will see y'all coming up next time here on 3 and Out. With that said, y'all, take care. And as always, God bless.